Hey, what's up, Mordu? Pixel Zest. Friday drafts. I would have preferred Thursday drafts, but I don't make the rules. It's Arena's world. I'm just living in it. I have not played with the set much. I did one seal deck, knowing zero of the cards, and I went 0-3 in games. So today is going to be an adventure. I'm gonna draft. I figured, whatever. We'll learn the set as we draft, and we'll read the cards, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, the drafts can't be that tough right now. I mean, they're whatchamacallit, pre-release drafts. I mean, everybody's got to be on here. Hey, what's up, First Tube? Thanks for welcoming me back. I'm glad to be back. I would have been on yesterday. I literally was trying for like an hour and a half, and then I gave up. I'm not planning sealed today, Mordu. I'm just planning to do 3 drafts. I don't know the cards. It's gonna be an adventure. But so what? You know what I mean? We'll have 3 weeks from now when I know all the cards and archetypes, and I'm drafting, focused. It's pre-release drafts. Appreciate that heads up, Silky Silk. You know me, a giant efficient hexproof creature is about as triggering as it gets for me. Thank you, Blubnada. Appreciate the subscription. Great to be online. Hey, thanks, Anoma. Glad you're able to catch me live. Appreciate the support. Yeah, I mean, towards the end of a limited format, if it's a great format, then of course I just keep drafting. But I actually really enjoy the historic Turbofog deck that I've been playing, and I've been doing really well with it. I've been climbing the ladder rapidly. I'll post my Mythic ranking when I hit it. I'm not Mythic yet. I'm like Diamond 2 or something now with it. But, so I've been playing that for fun. Now, of course, I'm going to be playing Zendikar for fun off stream, because there's a new limited format. But I got my couple weeks of fill of Cat Remastered, and I thought M21 was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was a balanced, aggressive format. But after a month or two of that, I didn't really need a third month of it. So I feel like if I'm gonna take any like extended time off at the end of a limited format, especially a boring one like M21, is probably a good time to do that. But I'm excited to be back. Zendikar, we have a new set out. I have no idea if I'm going to like it or not. Like, I literally have done exactly one Zendikar sealed. And I played the minimum 3 games because I lost all 3. Hey, nice job, Godfries. I hope I run as good as you. Thank you, 929. I appreciate the subscription. I think Kicker's a good mechanic. I don't think landfall inherently has to be a bad mechanic, but creatures being bigger on your turn than your opponent's turn is bad for limited. It makes blocking near impossible. But landfall doesn't have to do that. Landfall could be when a land comes into play, put a creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. When a land comes into play, gain 2 life. When a land comes into play, put a, whatever. You get the point. So, I mean, I'm excited about Kicker. Kicker is just an inherently good limited mechanic. It gives you optionality. It helps mitigate flood and screw. Landfall, I'm worried about, but it doesn't seem like they went nuts with common creatures like, last time, like with Windfall Rider, I think it was called Eel, the 4-mana 2/2 flyer that turns into a 4/4 and played a GOP'd, and just a whole bunch of common creatures that were +1/+1/+2/+2 on your turn with landfall and could never be blocked. So hopefully they learned that lesson and did landfall right. I'm not going to prejudge them. I'll judge them as I play with it. Not super excited for all the equipment. Equipment tends to be pretty good in limited because you keep it, even after the creature dies. But it also tends to make blocking hard because if you equip creatures, they tend to be bigger on your turn when they're equipped and attacking. I generally like limited formats where the boards get gummed up and there's a lot of stuff in play and a lot of stuff going on in long games. Now listen, aggressive formats can be good. I don't know if this is an aggressive format. I don't know if this is a grindy format. I haven't played, like I said, I played one Zendikar sealed. But I just prefer mechanics that lend themselves to optionality in long games. I missed you too, Tried But True. Thank you for the subscription. Good afternoon, Bye Canary. Thanks for subscribing, Slave to Phage. Very much appreciated. I'm, believe me, super excited about a new limited format being here. Like I said, I didn't even hate M21, but it was fairly boring, just standard aggressive format. You play the same decks almost every draft. So after like a couple months of it, I was kind of bored. It is Friday, Akinar. Hope it's a good Friday for you. Okay, well, on that note, I think that gave people enough time to sign on. Let's start with some Zendikar drafts. Let's see. I guess we'll premiere draft. We want to do more drafts quicker, I guess. Limited time offer. Okay. I don't really care for the fancy stuff. To each their own, but I'm not into, like, you know, foil versions, alt art things. Okay, so I'm going to have to read most of the cards. I mean, I literally don't know them. So, let's see. So this card would be completely busted if you could reveal one, but you'll have to get a second in order to do that. And then you can just leave it in your sideboard, I guess. So it's a rare, so that's unlikely. It's a 4-mana 4/3 flying, so it's not a bad gamble, but a 4-mana 4/3 flying is good, not, like, incredible. If you reveal one and get a second copy, then it's incredible. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 cat. Seems pretty good. Makes cats. Gains life. Oh, cool. 4-spike land. I like that. I'm sure these split card land things are going to be one of my favorites. Spell lands. It's like mental magic. So, I don't know. What do we take? I guess I'm just going to take the rare. It's still a 4-mana 4/3 flyer. I don't even have time to read all the commons this pack. But, I mean, a 4-mana 4/3 flyer is probably going to be better than the commons, right? Thanks, Reed Snake. Appreciate the subscription. Hey, Ryan Sachs. How's it going? Oh, cool. Another split card land spell. And this one is particularly good because in the very late game, you don't care about paying 3 and you don't need lands, so you'll happily get back your best creature or removal. And in the early game, if you need a land, you can play it as that. That's a nice split card. 2-mana 2/3 Vigilance. You can put a basic land card from your hand on the battlefield, and you can return a basic land you control, which is really good with landfall. This thing seems pretty good. I mean, obviously it's a green-white-gold card, but we first picked a white card. This Marusa Root Grazer seems really strong to me. 3-mana 2/4, green or blue, kick a spell, gain 2 life. Seems good. Not as good as the Root Grazer, I don't think. And, of course, we have a white rare first pick. This Flying Cat seems pretty incredible. I'm going to go with the Root Grazer, though. As far as commons, like that Flying Cat, it's a 4-mana 2/3 flyer, and then the first time, and then you just play a land, and it's a 3/4, and you play a land, and it's a 4/5. That seems like a really good card. Hey, thanks, Ryan Tucker. New set hype train from Twitch, whatever that means, and thank you to everybody subscribing. Vigilance, not flying. That makes sense. It would be way too good if it had flying. Landfall, +1/+1 all your creatures. Seems okay if you're swarming. Doesn't look like what we're trying to do so far. Here it is, Vigilance. Still seems quite good, though. 3-mana 2/2 flyer, pick up a land. That can help you trigger landfall. Can also buy back those spell land split cards. I love what they did there. Probably just take Rabid Bite here, I think, if we're looking at green-white. I don't think the other cards are better than it. 5-mana 5/4, gain 3 life. Hopefully that mitigates the aggression sometimes. Thanks, Michael D. McGrath. Appreciate the 6 months of support. So, given I have to read the cards and stuff, because this is my first draft of Zendikar, I'm going to mostly stick to green-white and draft the easy way. Not because that's necessarily better right now, but because I don't really have time to even read all the off-color cards in the packs. twice the number of creatures in your party. So we got a warrior. So we got one party card so far. Three mana 2/1 landfaller that grows. The 4 mana 2/3 landfaller that grows. I don't know which of these is better. I mean, growing permanently with landfall seems like a pretty strong mechanic. We'll probably play a lot of lands. We have the Root Grazer. This doesn't seem very good. Comes into play tapped, and it can give us green or white mana. I mean, it would be good if you're playing like a 5-color deck or something, but we're not. 2 mana 3/1, and it's a warrior. That seems kind of mediocre. 5 mana 3/4 flying. Gain 2 life for each creature in your party, and it's a cleric. That's cool. That's a cool card. 2 mana 1/1. Put up a +1 counter target creature, so it's a 2 mana 2/2 if we want it to be, or a little bit better. That seems kind of medium. I'm guessing we want the flyer here. Things that gain life tend to be good if you have stuff like landfall that people are going to kind of run out of, like ammo. The creatures are a little smaller, but they punch kind of hard on some turns. Although, so far from what I can see of the commons, the landfall creatures grow permanently, not to end a turn this time. But +1/+1 instead of +2/+2. This doesn't seem good. But the Raptor seems fine. What is Strength of Solidarity? Choose target creature you control, put up +1/+1. No, it's a sorcery. If this was an instant, it would be a nice combat trick. But as a sorcery, no need for that. Red creatures grow until end of turn. Cool. 3 mana 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you and an opponent draw a card. That doesn't seem very good. Just the 3 mana 3/3 basically. Unless you're triggering things. 3 mana 1/4 reach. My deck is kind of defensive with flyers. Maybe I'd play that. Is there anything off color that's exciting in this pack? 4 mana 4/3 sometimes haste. Nah. Alright, nothing seems too exciting. Is it a land? That would be exciting. 2 mana 3/1. Okay, but now we're getting later into the pack. This is clearly like a filler 2-drop, but it helps your party, and it is a 2-drop. 2 mana 2/2, kicker 3. If it was kicked and it's about for 2. Oh, wow. Okay, well, here's a much better 2-drop. Now, this is a 2 mana 2/2 on turn 2, but then on turn 5, it's a 4/4. So, of course, this is a split card, and while a 2 mana 2/2 and a 5 mana 4/4, neither one is particularly impressive, this can fill your 2-drop spot with a medium 2-drop, just like the 2 mana 3/1 or the 2 mana 1/1 that puts a +1/+1 counter. All of those cards are like just an okay filler 2-drop, but then if you draw this later in the game, it's a 4/4 instead of a 2/2, so it's not a dead card. I'm going to assume we're going to do like a green-white landfall. We already have the Root Grazer and the Raptor here. So I'm going to probably try and play like 18 lands, and I'm going to draft accordingly. See if we can put some landfall to work. Hey, you're welcome, BW. I wanted it to be a Thursday stream. I really tried hard yesterday. I literally kept logging in and out of Arena for like an hour and a half. Well, longer than that, because before the stream. But for an hour and a half after the scheduled stream start of 3. I gave up around 4:30. Thanks, Jester J23. Appreciate the subscription. Is this card good? Doesn't look good. Probably not. Ooh, these rare duels are so sweet. I can't wait to play with these in Standard. They're like in Evolving Wilds, but they come into play untapped. You just get to choose which of your two lands you want. I mean, you don't get some of the synergies, like, you know, putting a card in the yard for Oro. But it's just, these are very close to an untapped dual land if you're not playing with a ton of gold cards or anything, where you need red and blue out of the same land. Probably just going to take another Root Grazer. I'm trying to draft landfall. I'm planning to play 18 lands. I've got a ton of landfall creatures. highly doubt I'm going to see a common better than Root Grazer. So remember, this is like a pre-release draft for me. It's not even a release draft for me. Like I don't really read the previews. I've seen a few of the cards people talk about for Constructed, of course, but so I'm like reading almost all the cards here. So this is another edition of pre-release with a pro. What's the mouse y'all are talking about? 2 mana 2/1, 2/3 on their turn, so it blocks okay. I don't hate it. I mean, if I have to second pick it, I'm going to be pretty upset. 2 mana, kicker 3, target creature is +3/+3. If you kick it, +5/+5. Okay, that's kind of a powerful trick. Rabid Bite, always solid removal. It's a bite, not a fight. Search your library for a basic land, real, put it in your hand. Search. You can get two for 1 if you have the mana, or it can help you hit your early land drops. Seems fine, but doesn't seem better than Rabid Bite, I don't think. I do like cards like that. They do more when you have more mana, you know, the optionality you get with Kicker, and it prevents Screw. Like, that's a card that can be in your hand with 1 forest, and you can keep instead of having a mulligan. Here's a +2/+2 until end of turn. See, these are the kind of cards that make blocking impossible. This is like a 4 mana 4/3, okay, on their turn, and a 6/5 on your turn. 6 mana 6/5 trample, return 2 lands. Oh, this is probably good. I mean, I have all these landfallers that grow permanently and stuff like that. So, and I can put the lands back out with the Root Grazers. I'm pretty sure Stomper's got to be a really nice pickup for me. It would be different if we were less focused of a landfall deck, but with 2 Marasa Root Grazers and then 3 or 4 landfall creatures already, I think the Stomper's going to be really good. Seems pretty mediocre. I don't really want a 1 mana 1/1 flyer. My deck's not that aggressive. I don't really want to pay 4 for a 1/1 flyer and tap 2 creatures. This could be good. I mean, you have to kick it, I guess, but makes it, all their creatures have to block 1, so you can just win the game with it. This seems like a pretty strong card. Otherwise, there's a 2 mana 3/1. Whenever land enters the battlefield and you control, you gain a life. That seems fine. I'm a defensive deck. Scythe Cat. I think we're going to try the Arbor Mage here. Is the volume low? Let me know. I haven't changed the settings, so there's no reason it would be, but if it is, let me know. So each player draws a card, still not interested. Canopy Ballast seems fine for our landfall deck. Also, we go from 2 to 4, right? We play this on 2, we play a land, we tap it, we play a land, and then we play Canopy Ballast on turn 3. So that seems pretty good. Seems like a clear pickup here. So this is really good if you have a lot of warriors that are attacking with it and it's growing. Do we? That's a warrior, but it's kind of filler. I hope to not even play it, maybe. That's a warrior. No, we don't have much in the way of warriors. Disenchant. I don't think we're really doing the party pack thing much. I'm going to grab this, but I don't think we're going to play it unless we get a lot of warriors out of pack 3. I'm not really looking to be an attacking deck, like I said. This is kind of a landfall value deck. Like, obviously, I'm still going to attack, but you know what I mean. Up to 2 target creatures each get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures in your party. That seems like a pretty good trick. Again, I don't think we're doing the party thing especially well. We got a Cleric, some warriors. Otherwise, it's just a 2 mana 3/1, so I'll take this in case it gets there. Oh, 2 mana 1/1 double strike. Tap target creature. I know that card. It's a reprint. 5 mana 5/4 gain 3. That seems fine for our deck. Not exciting. Gonna grab the double striker. Do we have any ways to enhance it yet? Not really. Just that trick in the sideboard that we just drafted. This seems like it's probably good for a landfall deck. 4 mana, enchant land. 4/4 with reach and haste. And then if it dies, you get the land back to then trigger your landfall again. Or there's the Ox to tap things. I don't know which is better. It could have been the Ox. I really have no idea. We don't have many warriors. Probably don't want that. Although I guess I do want to try and draft warriors in pack 3 if I can. I got a couple cards that work with warriors now. I also have the double striker, so that makes equipment better. Another dual land, the blue-black this time. Oh, wow. If you play this thing on turn 2 in a landfall deck, and then this thing's going to grow, like, grow and grow and grow, huh? That seems like a pretty strong 2-drop to me, the Fearless Fledging. In the late game, it's nothing, but if you play it on turn 2, it's incredible. And I'm planning to play an 18-land deck with, like, Stomper and other ways to get back lands, Raptor. The Nectar Pot and the Healer both seem fine. I'd probably go with the Healer, but I'm pretty sure we're taking Fledgling. Well, this pack seems like it just has no green or white cards that we're really interested in. I guess this is an okay warrior. Doesn't seem very good for us. I assume it counts itself, so you're always giving +1/+1 at least. Maybe +2/+2 sometimes. We have a few clerics and stuff, but yeah, we're not doing the party thing well at all. We're doing landfall incredibly well. We've got the Stomper, we've got the 2 Root Grazers, we've got the Raptor. We're going to do landfall really well, but we're not doing the party thing well at all. Okay, this could be an opportunity to pick up one of these nice split cards. Target creature you control fights a creature, or you get a land. That seems like a pretty good one. Otherwise, what's in the pack for us? There's a Rabid Bite. There's the 2-mana 2/2 Lifelink. Sometimes Lifelink. Raptor. Yeah, Ambush seems like a clear choice here. Especially because, like I said, I want to play like 18 lands. But I can count this. So this card doesn't seem very good, but it got a little better for us. We have a Warrior Synergy card or two, plus we have this Blade Master that we could pump. Probably still just want the Raptor, though, with what our deck is doing. So now there's Ox, Rabid Bite. Ox seems fine. I think Rabid Bite is just better. I could be wrong. Literally never cast either one in this format. Like, I keep passing on these Oxes, and they seem like they're fine. I can put lands into play on the opponent's turn and tap things. But they're also 5-drops, and, like, I don't know. The Shepherd just seems like a better card to me. 2 life for each creature in your party, and that counts itself, right? So this is a 5-mana 3/4 flyer that's going to gain 2 minimum. More likely, like, it's going to gain, like, 4 to 6. Like, that seems like a pretty good card to me. Thank you, Box Pun. Appreciate the 3 months of support. Hope your puns are all good puns. Ben S stream puns, not LSV stream puns. 1 less to cast for each... Nah, this doesn't seem good for this deck. There are decks, of course, where this would be a very cheap giant creature, but that's not something we do well. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters. I guess I'm going to take it and read it later. 3-mana 2/3 Flying Defender, kicker 4. So if it was kicked for 7 mana, you get a 4/5. As long as it has a +1/+1 counter, it can attack. This card doesn't seem very good. That may have been a not good choice. This draws a card. Oops. Well, I forgot to take anything there. Yeah, well, since I have a couple of Party Matters cards, I could play like 1 or 2 of these Snarecasters from my board to have a rogue. Green-white probably doesn't have much access to wizards, I'm guessing. Thanks, Wormbane. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you for the support. I mean, I don't need party. The only party cards I really have are these Shepherds. Do I want another Scythe Cat or another Raptor? Go with another of the core 3-drop. Alright, let's see. So, Root Grazer's a 2-drop as well. So we have a ton of 2-drops. So we can cut our filler to bad 2-drops first. Because we're not an aggro deck. I'm not that concerned about hitting land drop 2. I mean, hitting my 2-drop. And we have a ton of 2-drops, including a bunch of filler 2-mana 3/1s. So these two, of course, are in. The Colony is, of course, in. So that gives us 3 really good ones that we would never cut. The Fledgling makes 4 good ones that we would never cut. So maybe we just cut these. I want to play 18 lands with this deck because of all the landfall, but we have the 1 split card, which is a land if you need it to be. So we can play these 17 plus County Ambush. Blade Master's not doing much, but remember, it's already like a 2/1 that can't be blocked by 1 toughness creatures. Do we have like 0 ways to pump it? A 1/1 double striker for 2 doesn't need a lot of help. A 3-mana 1/1 double striker, you need ways to enhance it. But it's about as good as any other 2-drop. It has effectively 2 power. And it can't be blocked by a 1 power creature. So it's practically a 2-mana 2/2. But yeah, we do have 0 ways to enhance it. I mean, I'll switch it out for, because we still have some other warriors, for one of these 1/4 reach rogues. That could gain us an extra couple life with the Shepherd. And we are a defensive deck. Alright. See how the very first Zendikar draft does. Seems like a kind of average-ish deck. I mean, the one rare I have is a 4-mana 4/3 flyer, no ability. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not an exciting rare. But then I've got 2 of the green, white, gold uncommon that landfall seems based around. So that seems pretty strong. Just bad enough to lose with. I would never mold his hand on the draw. Worth noting, if you're a landfall deck, you don't want to mulligan aggressively at all, because every land drop is a resource, effectively, for pumping your stuff. So landfall decks don't mulligan especially well. Yeah, the 2-sided dual lands are going to be really fun, and they're going to see tons of standard play the whole time. They're a really cool duel. But, of course, they're not exciting opens unlimited. They're fine if they're a non-color duel. But having opened 2 of those was not ideal. I usually do sealed first, but I also usually do sealed during, like, the early access event or something like that. I did do 1 sealed yesterday night after I got back from the casino. But I decided today we're going into drafts. Whatever. I'll embarrass myself in a few drafts, and I'll draft well next week after I get to draft all weekend, right? Pre-release drafts with Ben is fun. We all understand that, like, I'm always going to be trying to explain the strategy, but you're going to take everything I say and do today with a grain of salt. I'll be drafting all weekend, like, you know, so by Tuesday, I'll know what I'm doing in the drafts, but today, these are pre-release drafts, so understand that I may make picks that are horrendous because this is my first draft, and I literally am reading the cards. So our creatures grow and grow and grow. Theirs don't. We now have these raptors to bounce lands. So it seems like awesome for us to be in a stalemate. We can just put out another grower, and then next turn we can go raptor if we don't draw a land, bounce a land, replay it immediately on tap, grow our team, rabid bite, and then we'll look at what our attacks look like. But if we're in a stalemate and we have 3 creatures that grow permanently, not until end of turn, that's a good place to be. Okay, this is a grow to end of turn. It's a nice card to get out, but I don't think we need to play it this turn over the raptor and grow 2 of our creatures. And then we can maybe fight off the construct if we want to. What happens when you target this thing? Oh no, if we Rabid Bite it, it'll just get sacked and they'll get 4/1/1s. That doesn't really benefit us. But then there's nothing we really want to kill. So, I guess actually I'll just lay the 4/3. I figured I would go Raptor Rabid Bite because then we don't miss a land drop growing these. And we use 5 mana and get a flyer out. But there wasn't any creatures I wanted to kill. Like, I would happily Rabid Bite a 4/4, but that doesn't work, right? If I target this, it gets sacked and they just get 4/1/1s instead. So, do they have a good block on a 6/5? They'd have to double block with like a 4/4 and a 2/3, but yes. So, I guess I still just don't have an attack. But this only grows to end a turn. I really want to attack with the Canopy Baloth. But if I attack with it as a 6/5, they can block it with a 4/4 and a 2/3, and then I just trade my 6/5 for their 4/4. That's not really a good trade. I guess after that, though, I can use all my Rabid Bites on some of these other creatures and clear the way, and my stuff's going to grow. So it's probably worth it. Nah, Rabid Bite's a sorcery. I could punch the 2/3, then they wouldn't have a good double block. It would be kind of a loose use of Rabid Bite to kill a 3-mana 2/3 no ability at this point, but I do have 3 of them in hand. I think you're right, Sensei Silo. Given I have 3 Rabid Bites, if I Rabid Bite pre-combat and kill this 2/3, then they don't have a good double block. They have to lose 2 creatures. So, yeah, I think it's worth it because I have 3 of them. I think you're right. Let's see, which creature do we care about the least if they do happen to have a removal? They probably don't, but they could. I guess it's the 6/5 itself, actually. Because if they stop this in response, like if they kill the creature in response, I'm not going to want to attack with the Canopy Baloth just to have it double blocked anyway. Meanwhile, these 2 creatures will just grow and grow and grow in a stalemate. So we fight with the Baloth because if they have the removal, the Baloth wasn't going to have a good attack anyway. If you target the 4/4, they get 4/1/1s. As soon as they played it, I didn't even really know what it did, and my first instinct was, oh, I'll kill the Myriad Construct. But if you kill it in combat, it's fine, they don't get the 1/1s. But if it becomes a target of a spell, then they get the 1/1s. Alright, let's see. So they just pumped their team. So first, let's make sure we can't just, like, chump once and then kill them on a backswing or something. We probably can, because we're at 20. So none of these have lifelink, right? So let's say we chump block, like with the 2/2. We can attack back for 4, 7, 9, 13, plus the landfall, so 15, 16, 17. So they're just dead. None of these have lifelink, right? So we'll just chump with the 1/2/2 so that we don't take lethal. 6, 11, 15, 20 exactly. Even if they had trample, because it's exactly 20, so all we have to do is block 1. And then we just untap and kill them. If not for COVID still running pretty rampant in Florida, I would be doing an in-person pre-release. I love in-person pre-releases. I could have chumped a 2/2 or whatever. It didn't matter. No ghost. They were dead tapped out. Unless there's free spells in this format. I miss pre-releases too. I can't wait to play pre-releases at Tate's again. Hey, Adam Brownie. This one I might mulligan. It's a 2-lander on the play. Nothing we can cast. We don't have a forest. I think this is a mulligan. We have a 5-drop and a 6-drop. These don't do much without a lot of lands. Okay, this is obviously better. I don't really want to put back a land, though. Not sure what I put back. It could be forest. Could be gnarled. Could be any of these, really. Any of these. I'm not going to put back the 1 plains, obviously. I think I might just put back Stomper. I really don't want to put back a forest and get stuck on lands and then have these landfalls not do anything. I mean, if I draw more lands, this will be a 4-mana 6/5. Thanks for the subscription, Real Phoebe. Appreciate the support. I do love a real freebie. Alright, I think I'm going to hold on to the colony and be greedy. I could try and curve out and get them for 2, but I now have a blocker for next turn. And I'm only 1 land away from growing this thing. Greed is good, I heard. Thank you, Royal MTG. Appreciate the support. Also, speaking of support, thank you, G-Hash, for the raid. Appreciate the support. So they have the Warrior Lord. 3 mana, 3/3 other warriors get pumped. Okay. It's a good card. Thanks for the subscription, Hiniyaya. Appreciate the support. Probably didn't say your name right, but I tried my hardest. I'm good. How are you, Cruddlebanger? Cruddlebehanger. Probably didn't say your name right either, but I'm sure you understand. Alright, let's see. So if we play a land and grow this to a 6/5, it has a good attack, right? No. Yeah, because if they double block, I can kill the 3/3 and put 3 on the ambusher, and then it dies too. So yes. And then I can just kick out my 4/4, or I could play the 4/4 haste and attack with that. But then they would just trade their 4/2 for my 4/4. That's not great. So I think it's land, attack with the 6/5. And then post-combat, we can just play a 4/4 of our own. And they don't have a good double block here, because if they block with the 2/4 and a 3/3, 3 on the 3/3, 3 on the 2/4, and then the 2/4 would die post-combat when the Warrior Lord leaves play. I have not done an Among Us stream yet. I do plan to. So I don't want to trade a 4/4 for the 4/2. So I'm probably not going to block here. What are this thing's abilities? Trample. It also gives trample to my other things with counters. Not that exciting. Okay, so let's see. I can't really trigger landfall this turn. I mean, unless I play this, but I'm probably going to want to fight a creature with it. But what I can do is fight a creature and play the Root Grazer, and then this will allow me to pick up lands. If I fight off the Warlord here, I can't really attack because my 4/4 will have 3 damage on it, but that'll shrink their team and set us up nicely for future turns. So I'm pretty sure I want to take out the Warrior Lord out of Red-White Warriors. But do I have any attacks first? And the answer is no. So let's just fight our 4/4 and their 3/3 Lord, which will shrink the rest of their team. But we still don't have an attack this turn, because if I send the 4/3, they'll block with a 3/1, and this is not a 4/4 now, it's a 4/1 until end of turn. So we gotta chill for a turn. Could have tried to fight on blocks. Yeah, maybe I should have sent the 4. No, but then it's, what am I going to fight with? I can't fight with the 4/4. Like, if they block my Gnarled Colony with their Cliff Sellsword, and then I fight the colony on the 3/3, my colony has the 3 damage on it and dies and trades with the Sellsword. Oh, if they attacked, I could have. Yeah, but then their mana would be up. It's one thing to be risky with some removal spells in case they have, like, a random trick, like a hexproof trick. But when it comes down to fight spells, if they kill your creature in response, you get 2 for 1. You don't want to be that kind of risky. That's just unnecessarily risky. Okay, I don't really want to trade with that, so I'm going to take it for now. So this thing can't pump right now. It's 3. So assuming they don't have anything, they do not have good blocks on a 4/4. So that makes this seem pretty easy. We'll just attack them with the 2 4/4s, right? The only block they have would be double, which would kill both their creatures. I'm cool with that. Yeah, I watched the Heat game. It was pretty cool. It was a great game. Thank you, Christopher and Gahulash. Appreciate the subscriptions. Glad to be back on. I'll be back on my normal schedule for Zendikar. I'm not saying I'll never miss a day or I'll never start late. Like, I'm far from perfect about that. But Tuesday through Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern drafts. Moving forward for now. Thanks, Real Freebie. I missed y'all as well, believe me. No, if you get 2 of that angel, definitely put 1 in your sideboard, because it's not like drawing a 4-mana 4/3 flyer is that big of a deal. It's just like you don't need. It's not like it's Dream Trawler and you want to have double the chances to draw it that badly. Whereas on the other hand, if you play a 4-mana 4/3 flyer and put another copy of it in your hand for free, that's a totally broken card in limited. If just a 4-mana 4/3 flyer, not that big of a deal. So you definitely, if you do get lucky enough to get a second copy, you definitely keep 1 in your sideboard to get for free when you draw your other copy. Okay, no real changes from last turn. I mean, we should win the race, but they don't have a good block on the 4/4. I mean, they killed some things, but I'm just saying I'll happily attack them and force them to either trade both creatures for it or go to 2 and then just drop another creature. I guess I might drop the flyer if they go to 2. So the only question now is, do we play the Raptor or do we play the Felidar? Can they force us to block with the Raptor? Not really. Like, if they play a land and attack with all 3, yes. No, we could still take 7. Just let through a 4 and a 3. So I think the Raptor makes sense. It's presenting lethal. None of these have reach or anything. Okay, so we don't want to block with the Raptor. This can double pump to 5, so we have to block that. So I think it's like this. I guess another choice. We could put the 1/4 on the 3/1 and the Raptor on a 4/2. Then they could play a blocker for the 4/4 to not be dead, but they can only hit us for 1, and we eat this for free, and we still have more ammo. So this way we don't die to a pump spell. And we win if they have a pump spell unless it untaps the creature, because we have the 4/4. This is probably better. Because this beats a pump spell, and if they have a blocker, we don't win the game, but they're probably just chump blocking a 4/4, and our 1/4 spider is eating a 3/1 for free. So this beats like a pump spell or a burn spell, whereas if we let the 7 through, we just die to a pump or a burn spell. It's been really good, Disma Tank. Honestly, I think since COVID, the poker games have actually been better. I think a lot of people are just choosing that as a form of entertainment because, relatively speaking, it's safer than like going to the bar or something like that. I don't know what Coveted Prize is, but it sounds like a sweet deck, Aaron Jaegerbaum. Yeah, I mean, the players are worse. The games have been especially soft lately. So again, we're on the play. Nothing we can cast. 18 land deck. I think we have to mull this. Okay, this is a little better, not great. The angel is double white. Maybe we'll put that back. Who needs white anyway? We'll just play mono green for our with our 2-color deck. I know. I keep having to mull in best of one. It's pretty unfortunate. I've mulled twice already in these 3 games. This is a nice card. 2 mana, 2/1 if you need it on turn 2 in a landlight hand. In the late game, it's powerful. It's like Get You Chronicler. You'll love to see it. They've got mandatory masks. They've got like glass shields between all the players, hand sanitizer on every table. I'm not saying people should go play for fun. I would never encourage anybody to do anything for fun, let's say. You know, if it's your job, that's different. But I think it feels a lot safer sitting at a poker table with a glass divider between people and than it does. Plus, like, the thing is, you can still play poker under those conditions. Like, the whole point of going into a bar is to talk to people and socialize with the people around you and stuff like that. So it's like, poker games just, like, lend themselves to this, like, isolation better than, like, you know, like I said, just going to the bar or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played at the MGM since I moved back to Florida in a year, but the games at the MGM in DC and National Harbor were the best I've ever seen. They were incredible for the 2 years I was there. All right, let's see. Looks like we just play a land, attack with a 6/5, and then play the Ox. Doesn't really seem like we have any decisions here. They can double block if they want. They'll lose both. Good games are just games where people just play, like, very exploitatively. Like, they just, like, make big mistakes. They have huge holes. Like, you know, like, I can't get into it. It would be, like, a long conversation. But, like, you know, if basically, like, the narrower people make their ranges and spots, the more you can take advantage of, like, knowing what they have in deep stack cash games. And so, like, without getting into, like, a lot of poker strategy, it's, like, kind of a hard conversation to have, but the games were just great. It was just a bunch of people just telling you what their hand is while they had a lot of chips behind and playing very poorly. Yeah, I've read The Theory of Poker. It's actually one of the books I always recommend to beginners, because it gets you thinking about poker, like, in creating value instead of trying to, like, win the pot or whatever nonsense. Oh, yeah, I heard that Discord ping, too. Let me close Discord at least to see if that helps. You're not going nuts. I actually heard that ping, and I didn't know where it came from. Hey, first draft, and we're already 3-0. Let's keep up the good luck. No. The pings were real. I'm very good at, like, focusing on what I'm doing and ignoring things, but, like, when you said it, I was like, oh, yeah, I think there was something in the background. This is going to be a cool standard card, right? Because you can just play 1 or 2 and keep 1 or 2 in your sideboard. It takes up sideboard slots, but a 4-mana 4/3 flyer that gets you another copy of it when it comes into play is a good standard card, too. Because you can have, like, 2 in your main and 2 in your board, right? And then you can just play one, search for one, play that one, search for another one. You get like an endless stream of 4-mana 4/3 flyers. That seems pretty good. What's up, MTG Master? It's going pretty well. I only have one Angel. This isn't standard, so you're still going to play a 4-mana 4/3 flyer in limited. Obviously, it's not a broken card if you only have one, but it's still a nice drop. Alright, mine grows and theirs doesn't, so I'm going to take it. This turn we'll probably just play the 4/3 flyer, because we can always play the Felidar and then play a land immediately, so we don't miss any growing. What does this thing do? +1/+0 until end of turn, can't be blocked. One less for each creature in your party, and this gives them all of the party. So for now, I think we'll attack. If they want to trade, that seems fine. This seems like a pretty scary card, given they already have party on. It doesn't? Hold on. Oh, I don't have anything to show. Oh, what? This is a cleric, a rogue, a warrior, and a wizard. Oh, so it just counts as anyone? Like whatever one they don't have? So like right now they have two. They have this counting as anyone, and this as that. Okay, that makes sense. Not as broken. Enchant creature. When Bubble Snare enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, tap enchanted creature. Cool. Okay, so this time I'm going to play this one because I want to play a land and I don't want to miss the grow. Ben Stark is streaming again, and I'll be back on my usual schedule, like I said. I know I'm far from perfect about keeping it. I'm a one-person show, so anytime, I have a headache or a serious obligation, I can't always make the stream, but I'll be back for the most part on my regular schedule, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 3 Zendikar drafts every day. Yeah, 2 main, 2 board is what I would guess. Alright, let's see. The Ben is back. So what do we want to do this turn? Land, grow this, and then we can fight one of the untapped creatures. They don't have a great double block. I mean, they could take out the Felidar, but they would lose both. But we have 2 Rabid Bites. So I think I'll just kill this, 2/3. And this is a bite, not a fight, so we can use the creature that's going to attack. I mean, we could also have used the 5/4, but it makes no difference. I have no idea whether I play Disenchant main in this format. This is my very first draft. Yeah, the growing creatures seem really powerful in a dedicated landfall deck, for sure. Bite, not a fight. I do like green eggs and ham. Okay, so I want to play this before the land if possible. I do have a 4/4 haste and a fight spell for this turn. That's a pretty good turn. So I don't think it's that important that I grow the cat. I probably just want to do those 2 things here, right? That should pretty much put the game away unless they have something for 1 blue. Just fight off their best creature. Yeah, if it's a 4-mana... So this creature is a 3-mana 3/3. That's playable, but unexciting. Both players draw a card. If you use the cards really well for some reason, if you want both players to draw a card, then it's fine, but otherwise it's not good. It's just a 3-mana 3/3 with what's probably a slight drawback on average. What are MDFCs? That makes sense. Wizards are rare in some of the colors. I mean, the modal double-faced cards look sweet to me, but I honestly don't know. We've never really seen anything like that. Ask me these questions on Tuesday. I'll take them quick into a format, but not when I'm reading all the cards in my pre-release draft. At least over the weekend while playing poker and stuff, I'll be playing tons of drafts as well. So by like Tuesday, I'll have like, at least like 10 drafts under my belt. But right now, this is a pre-release for me. I'm literally reading all the cards. It's Special Edition Friday because Arena decided not to work yesterday. Well, the set's only been out for a day, so while it's probably like most people read the previews and maybe have done like a little bit by now, I mean, it's still a new format for everybody. Oh yeah, I tried to stream yesterday. I just gave up. Like when it wasn't working properly, I was just like, I'm not gonna fire off a stream and have it keep crashing. So I just kept logging in and trying to draft and sealed and logging out, getting the black screen, getting reconnect errors, having it freeze. And then eventually, after like an hour and a half, I just gave up. Death Touch as long as you control another rogue. That's a nice bear. 2-mana 2/2, and then in the late game when a 2-mana 2/2 is dead, you'll probably control another rogue, and then Death Touch turns it on and gives it the ability to trade with any size creature. I could have, but I didn't really want to go on Magic Online. I wouldn't necessarily want to trade my my grower, but I don't have any more lands in hand right now. I have a handful of spells, and this thing gains Death Touch later anyway, which means it can trade with something big. So I think this is a fine trade. Hey, we got a giant Numot the Nummy raid. Thank you, Numot. Appreciate the support. Hope you had a great stream. So we could play the Raptor and then get a land back and replay it immediately. It's not very exciting. Better off just playing the Snarecaster, I think. It can block the 3/2 flyer. And then once we have 4 lands out, we can use this ability positively. Maybe play a second spell that turn, or at least trigger landfall. I know, Kenji's the best. Numot's great. I'm a huge fan of all the drafting Numot has been doing on Twitch for so long. Yeah, as far as old school pros, I'm way on the Arena camp. I like Arena a lot more than Magic Online. I mean, granted, it has to work, of course. But if they got all the features on this, like a proper pass the turn, where I could just push like a button and it passed the turn to the opponent, and like right-click auto yield to an effect till the end of the game, like we have on Magic Online, 2 abilities that I think should have been on here a year ago, and I asked for like once a week. Plus Arena just not crashing and stuff, I would never open Magic Online again. I think Arena's far superior. What do we play this turn? So Flying Death Touch Lifelink. So we don't want to race it, we want to block it or kill it. So I guess I just play the Angel to trade off with their Scavenger here. those are the biggest things Arena needs, in my opinion. I mean, there's other things for streaming, for tournaments, spectator mode, stuff like that. But as far as in-game play, right-click auto yield to an ability to end a game is just huge. Like, you know, people have like these pinging walls or these activated abilities, and like you just have to turn after turn click OK when they do them. Or on Magic Online, you can just auto yield for the entire rest of the game to that effect, and then also just pass the turn, because the pass the turn button doesn't really pass the turn on here. I don't really know what it does exactly, but it doesn't pass the turn. I can tell you that much. Okay, so we want to kill the scavenger. If we do it with a bite and not a fight, our creature will live. A 1/4 can't do it. So this turn, I guess we just have to drop the 4/3 so that we have something out that can fight it off. No, I've never tried that ABSD. Okay, another little flyer. The 1/4 seems to be covering us pretty well. Doesn't stop this Death Touch Lifelinker, of course, but hopefully we can Rabid Bite that away. Thanks for the subscription, Raceland Helmy. Appreciate the support. Alright, I'm not excited about just going for it into their open mana, but I can't race it. I'm taking a hit every turn. Hopefully this works. Don't play anything, please, thanks. Just bury your creature. Well, that's not playing anything. Nice reprint, though. I do love Into the Royal. It's a really cool card. Why not Raptor first? If I double block, I lose both, so I didn't really want to do that. And I didn't want to play the Raptor, pick up a land, and replay it before I have the Fledgling and the Baloth and the Felidar in play. Kind of missing out on landfall, especially the permanent growers. So they pick up here, they got the split card. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-0, so that's going to make blocking the 4/3 tough. I do have a bunch more Rabid Bites I could draw. Doesn't look like I'm going to block it successfully this turn. So for now, I just don't want to miss out on the permanent grows, I think. Seems okay so far, Race and Homie. This is my first draft, and I did exactly 1 sealed, and I played exactly 3 games because I went 0-3. Although we're 4-0 so far in this draft. This game is going to be tough, but if they don't have anything, it's still winnable for sure. That's a bad sign. I don't see any choices, though. If they have +2/+0, they can kill me. I don't care. They're probably just going to -2/-0. So now we have to stop all 3 of those creatures or die. Pretty sure I'm just dead then. This won't have flying on their turn. Looks like we're off to the next game. Glad to be here. Thanks for the compliment, Blazer Doom. Alright, not a great hand, but we're on the draw, and if we draw a forest, this is a great hand, so I don't think we're going to mull this. And I think we're 9 forests, 8 plains, plus the green, land 2 face cards. I think we actually have 10 forests, like 10 green sources. Not that we drew one. Hey, thanks, Zenek. I appreciate the support. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I've enjoyed my first draft. I think I still want to just play the Root Grazer here. Root Grazer just seems really good. I mean, the ability to pick up lands. Like, on turn 3, you're going to play a land and get the ramp effect. And then after that, you're really just picking up lands, which gives you an extra mana to work with on your turn, because you can pick up a tapped land and then just play it naturally. But also just triggering landfall at instant speed on their turn. I mean, it seems like a pretty ridiculous card. I don't know, Ethan. It's mostly a numbers game. I don't think Giannis is the most valuable player in the NBA. No, I think Kawhi and LeBron and several players are more valuable than him. But if he had the best performance this year, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be crashing so far today. It seems to be working okay. So they have a 3/3 and a 2/1 flyer. A 1/4 would block those better, but I really want to get the Canopy Baloth out. And I mean, they don't know we can't put a land in play, so it would be a pretty risky attack by them with the Outrider. We could just block with the Baloth, tap the Root Grazer, and put a land in play, and then eat the Outrider. So I should expect to only take 2 here. Enchant creature can't attack or block. Okay, well, now they can attack with both again. So let's see. Now we have 5 mana. We could play a 4/4 with the kick here. We could play a 4/4 haste. We're not really looking to attack yet. We could play a 4/4 ox. This way we can tap things on their turn. That seems right to me. Oh, I forgot. I guess I'm attacking with this. Not doing anything else with it. This doesn't seem like a big deal. If they gain a bunch of life, we only lose 1, and they don't have any consistent life gain in play or anything. The land does get reach. That's true. So I assume I want to pick up a land here. I can always put it back down, right? Oh, I guess not, because I might use 6 mana and play Raptor and Snarecaster. Beast, Ox. Nothing in my party so far. I'm mostly playing a bunch of animals. I guess I do have the Rogue. Seems fine to use 6 mana this turn. Get out a Rogue. It's also a really good blocker on this board. And then we can tap that, which lets us be able to attack with both creatures. I don't mind trading the Root Grazer at this point for this 3/2, even though the Root Grazer is clearly a better card. We don't really have lands to be putting in play, nor do we need to. But this pretty much stabilizes the board. And then we have a 4/4, a 4/4, and a 3/4 that gains 4. Yeah, I need that land from M21 that grows all the animals. Got like oxes and beasts. I don't know what it grows and doesn't grow. I think it actually does grow oxes. 3/2 indestructible. Okay, we can just block that with a 1/4. 3/3. We can double block that. Seems fine to me. Animal Sanctuary. Yeah, that's the land. Alright, so what's going on board? I can attack with the 4/4 and just drop the Shepherd or another 4/4. I don't really need the Shepherd out at the moment. I'm covered in the air by the 1/4 Rogue. If I want to double block the Ox and lose both, I'm cool with that. So I think we just attack for 4 and play another 4/4 this turn. Nothing specifically making us want to Rabid Bite. I'm not unwilling to Rabid Bite any of these creatures, but it's not a better turn than just putting another 4/4 out. Yeah, if you're defensive, 1/4 Reach seems like gas in this format. But you have to be defensive. A lot of green decks probably are going to be pretty focused on attacking. I don't know. I don't know what green does. I know this is a landfall deck, so landfall decks love stalemates because that means that you just get to grow and grow and grow over the course of the stalemate. So if you have like these permanent growers, like which I have like 6 of or something, then you're naturally going to have inevitability. Because if you hit a stalemate, every time you draw a land, your creatures grow. Every time your opponent draws a land, they get nothing. Well, this hand's slow, but we're on the play and we have 3 lands, so probably not going to mull. Hopefully we'll draw another land or 2. What's even a GOAT? LeBron James? Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery or wizard spell, it gets +2/+0. Cool. Alright, well, we're clearly going to play the land. I didn't really want to tap land here for land 4, but better than no land at all. And then if I attack, they could double block, but I would trade with a flyer, and I can't really block the flyer with my 3/2, so I don't mind. I didn't even see my opponent's name was not Lyra until right now. It's good to know I'm not playing against my own family, though. Okay, still on 4. Still don't see any decisions. Can't block their flyer with my ground creature. We'll just attack. Drop our 4-drop. I don't know what's going on. I feel like my opponent's playing Storm this turn. Drawing a bunch of cards, adding a bunch of mana. I guess at the end of the day, they just put out 2 little creatures that don't matter that much, but they were wizards, so they hit me for 10. So let's see. They have 2 flyers, and then now 2 generic ground creatures. So I feel like I can attack with like maybe 1 big ground creature, but not both. Probably be too risky. But I think we'll still send the 6/5. And then we'll just start trying to stabilize this guy. We've got our 3/4 flyers that gain life, and we've got a 4/4 reach here. This looks bad. It is bad. We're dead. What is this card? What did they play for the win? 4 damage to a creature and X to its controller, where that's the number of creatures in your party. Yeah, Baloth is a very aggressive card, but it's also just an undercosted big creature for a landfall deck. And we're playing 18 lands with 2 of the White Raptor that bounces lands, and 2 of the 2/3 Vigilance that bounces lands. So, and Stomper. So we're a really good landfall deck. So obviously, listen, I mean, again, I'm using the terms like aggressive inevitability, but every deck is mid-range, right? We're playing limited. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're not going to pass on a 4-mana 4/3 that would landfall +2/2 when we're a landfall deck, even if we have inevitability. I'm also playing Snarecasters because I see us as looking to stalemate games and clutter up boards, but this is still just a good card, Canopy Baloth, in this deck. Oh, there's a discounted draft token in the store? Okay, I'll check that out. Maybe right before the next draft. I'm playing 18, 17 in the one modal card. Maybe I should be playing one more. I mean, that's still a lot, and we have the hand smoother, but seems like I always want to draw lands. We're 4-2 so far, I think. Yeah, 18 was pretty standard in the last landfall set. But again, you know, with the split card, maybe it should be 18 plus that, not 18 including that. So I don't really want to miss out on permanent growing, so I think I'm going to play the Scythe Cat here, even though it's a 3-drop, but I'm going to have 4 mana, because I'm going to play land this turn, and these Scythe Cats keep the counters forever, whereas the Baloth is just till end of turn. Yeah, I'll check after this game. If I win, I'll see about cutting my weakest card for a land. I could see playing one more land the way this has been playing. And of course, if you're super flooded, we can always use that split card to fight something. Thanks for the 6 months of support, Marsh. Appreciate your subscription. Seems fun so far. This is my first draft, so I don't really know. Ask me Tuesday, but it does seem cool. But I'm like the wrong person because I love a new Magic set so much every time it comes out because, you know, you play limited, you draft nonstop. It's really fun. Couple months in, you've done 100 drafts or whatever in the format. Okay, you're ready for the next format. So, you know, for me, it's like every time a new set comes out, I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. Like, if the set's good, I'll enjoy it for the whole 3 months. If it's bad, I'll only enjoy it for 2 weeks. But I pretty much always enjoy my first, 5 to 10 drafts where I'm figuring out if a set is good or bad. Alright, I'm not going to double block that, even though our creatures don't have an attack unless we draw a land. This thing goes back to being an 0-5. Sadly, no land. That means no grow. That means no attack. Worst time I've ever had drafting. Avacyn Restored. My least favorite set of all time. Modern Horizons was a lot of fun. I liked Modern Horizons a lot. Thank you, dudes1231. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you for the welcome back. Thank you to everybody for the warm welcome back. Appreciate it. The Sealed Off with Voxy was my official coming back on Tuesday, which was pretty fun also. Trolling her again with that fake Lucky Clover Secret Keeper deck was probably one of the most fun things I've ever seen in Magic. I don't know why she hates getting milled so much, but I'm glad she does. Thank you, Mandatory Drops. Appreciate the subscription. This trade isn't great, but I don't really have lands and I have a handful of spells. So I'm not looking to trade blows, so I don't mind blocking. Just everything was terrible in Avacyn Restored. Mostly, like, Miracle was abysmally bad as far as a mechanic. Soul Bond could be done well in a set with a lot of instant ways to break it up and stuff, but there wasn't. There was, like, almost no instance in it. Like, it was just... Soul Bond was just a nightmare in that set, too. And then the biggest problem was, like, half the cards were, like, mythic commons, and half the cards were, like, unplayable. The power level discrepancy just from card to card was just, like, abysmal. We don't really have any nice drops for this turn, so I think I'm just going to attack and try and Rapid Bite away the Riptide. I mean, if they take it, I'll just drop the 1/4 Rogue, but I assume they have a decent amount of kicker if they're playing that card. It's not like I get owned by a pump spell. I mean, they could have a bounce spell, but it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, black was unplayable too, that's true. Okay, so what did they do? They bounced inside combat, they bounced, and they pumped their creature. Which, all is fine and dandy, I guess? Wait, I don't see a pump spell. How did they kill... Oh, they played a kicker spell, so this became a 5/5. Right. Okay, so I got a little owned there. But that's alright, whatever. It's better than attacking me for 5. These little creatures were not of particular importance. Unfortunately, though, I can't fight this off now, which I'd really like to do. But I don't have a 2-mana, 2-power creature. So I guess I'm just going to drop this one. Yeah, Royal does seem really good. I mean, it was really good in Dominaria, too. I mean, this is just a good Magic card. Yeah, I don't really care. Like, that wasn't good for me, of course. I'm not going to pretend it was. But at the end of the day, those little 3/2s, they're not doing anything if they're not attacking into the Riptide. I mean, if I would have went for a double block at some point, they could always have bounced one. I've got a handful of business and no lands. So I don't even really mind that exchange that much. I wish I could have played like a 2/2 and then fought off this 5/5, though. Wow, Divination with Kicker. They just keep making these things better and better. Eventually, they're going to be playable for Luis. Now, this, I'm just kidding. This one is obviously playable, but it's Divination and then the late game you get more. Rune Crab. This is the card Voxy was talking about. This is like her favorite card in the set. In honor of Rune Crab. Okay, let's see. What do we want to do here? I can Shepherd and get a 3/4 flyer. I can play the Scythe Cat, grow it, and then fight off the Crab. What does this mill? 3 cards every time? Yeah, that'll deck pretty quickly. They have a million cards in hand. I think I'm just going to do that. It did not happen yet, Samig. I am not drinking White Claw. I'm drinking fancy energy drink from Amazon. I don't know. Rachel's mom got us these. I usually drink Red Bull. This is probably better for you. At the end of the day, the way I see it, caffeine is like, you know, the drug or whatever, and everything else is just like a flavor, like, you know, coffee or Red Bull or 5-Hour Energy or Sambazon, acai berry, pomegranate, Amazon Energy. They're all just different flavors of caffeine. Different ways to get your caffeine. So I can make all their creatures block, and then I can take out a 3/2 flyer. That seems fine, but I've got like 2, 3, 4 flyers, so I'm not super scared of a 3/2 flyer, so I probably don't need to do that. So I guess I'm just going to play my Shepherds. I could get an extra 2 life out of them if I had my Wizard out, but again, I'm getting more life by just putting a 3/4 flyer in play. Oh, yeah, I love tea. I don't even think of tea as a vessel for caffeine, though, because, like, you know, iced tea just doesn't have that much caffeine in it. I guess if you drink it all day, every day, like I do, then you're getting a decent amount of caffeine. Could have killed both the 3/2s. Does this give Death Touch or something? Oh, because this grows. Yeah, maybe I should have done that. I mean, this 4/3 for both 3/2s is a pretty good trade. Granted, I'm probably going to have the same opportunities later. I mean, if they're not tapped, maybe they'll have some ability to mess me up or something. Good point, though. I didn't even see that, Soren. Yeah, because the Scythe Cat was going to grow to a 4/3. If I had played this and kicked it, targeting it, I could have killed both 3/2s, which certainly, it's not a big mistake to not do, but it was definitely worth considering, because then it becomes pretty exciting. I get to trade this for a 3/2 flyer and a bonus 3/2. Trading it for just the 3/2 flyer seemed fine, but not exciting. Okay, so obviously they have something. I'm probably still going to block. This is a sorcery. I don't really care about this 3/4 flyer. I'm another one. So I don't think it matters. I guess if they're going to grow one permanently and not until end of turn, I'd want it to be the 3/2 non-flyer. So I'll put Shepherd on that one. I could double block. Like you know what I could do? What are the tricks? Is this a good double block against whatever the pump spell they're going to have is? I might end up dying to the 5/5 or something. I'm just going to block both and save the damage. I don't know what the tricks are yet. If there's +3/+3, then that wouldn't work. If it's +2/+2, then it would work. Because if it's +2/+2, I'd put 4 on their creature, so it would still die. Alright, let's see what they did play. Target creature gets +0/+3. Okay, so they were just going to save their creature, so it's better I didn't double block. Save some damage. This isn't looking great. It's not looking horrible. I mean, I can Rabid Bite away the 4/4 flyer. And so, I mean, this is, you know, this is a tight game. It really just depends on what they still have. Seems like a pretty easy turn. Rabid Bite away the 4/3 flyer. Drop a 4/3. Can I attack with anything? Probably attack with the 4/3. I've got the 1/4 back to block, the 3/4, and the 4/3 flyer. And I don't really want to trade the 4/3 off for the 3/2. So assuming they don't interfere at all, let's Rabid Bite away the 4/4 flyer. No doing stuff. You're far ahead. I've been stuck on lands and stuff. Stop doing stuff. Yeah. In that case, no more attacking. That's fine. Can beat a 4/4 ground creature. Yes, if I drafted 2 Legion Angels, I would definitely put one on the sideboard. I don't even think it's close. Because, again, this isn't like Dream Trawler or something, right? If you're not searching for anything, 4 mana 4/3 flying, no abilities, that's a good limited card. But it's not, like, exceptionally broken. It's not even broken at all. It's like, you know, A-, B+, like maybe A, solid A- tier. But it's not even remotely broken. If it searches for an additional copy of itself, that's a super broken limited card. A 4 mana 4/3 flyer that when it trades or kills and then you get a second additional copy for free, that's a broken card. A 4 mana 4/3 flyer, no ability, is just +1/+1 over a Snapping Drake. So if you get 2 of these, 100% put one in your sideboard and one in your main. I actually drafted this pick one, pack one, and that was my plan the whole time, was to put one in my sideboard and one in my main. I just didn't get a second. Okay, assume we just want to drop the other 3/4 flyers and get our life. So we don't die to like any random kicker spell or anything like that. If you have 3, then it gets tricky, whether you play 2 main or 1 main. I'd probably play 2 main if I had 3. Because you're not going to draw 2 of 2 that often, but since you still have 1 to search for every time, searching for 1 is pretty broken. So if I had 3, I'd probably play 2 main and 1 in the board, so that I could draw 1 of the 2 and then search for 1 more often. But if you have 2, and I mean, listen, you're going to have 1 most of the time. It's rare. If you get 3, that's going to be pretty rare. And I think I would play 2 main. But if you get 2, which is going to happen sometimes, 100% you're going to play 1 main and 1 on the board. If you get 2, play 1 main, 1 board. I'm sure on that. If you get 3, it's a lot more interesting. All right, let's see. So we're not dead, but we have to let through 2 3-power creatures. So we have to block the 4 and the 5, which is double chump block. So that's awful. And then we can eat one of these. 3 mana 3/3, 3/2, and when it dies, they draw a card. So seems clearly that's the one we're going to block to eat. So it looks like we're dead. I mean, they might brick, so the 05's not a creature, but we have to stop 4 creatures. Can I play 3 things? Am I 1 mana short? 3, 6, 8. I'm 1 mana short, huh? Boo. Missed the counter? What counter? Oh, on the side? I mean, I'm dead. All of these can attack. I have to stop these 4 creatures. Right, and the 4/4s have trample, so I'm actually a few more short. Well, 4-0, 4-3. Disappointing little end there, but we were obviously running hot. I also didn't play any, like, the 2 mana 2/3s turn 2 out of a good hand. I do think I should have played one more land. I always wanted more lands throughout that draft. Like, I played 18. Oh, I got 5 wins, 5-3. But I played 17, but I also, this is a land, right? It's not like it's, it's not like it's search for a land. Like, you can just play this as a land anytime. So I basically played 18, but I think I should have played 19. I think I played one land too few. In retrospect, I would cut, like, the Ox probably. The defensive card worked pretty well. Yeah, I think I would just cut the Ox for a land. If I had it to do again. It would just be Ox out. One more land in. This is what I should have submitted. Someone mentioned there was like a discount at the store on something. Let me just check it out real quick before we do the next draft. One free draft or something like that. Just a slightly discounted draft, not even close to free. But okay, we'll take it. And let's get into the second draft. Gonna do 3 drafts today. Just a normal day. This is draft. That was my first. We're about to fire the second. 18 was still the most common number of lands you played in original Zendikar, but you could go to 19 if you had enough landfall. I don't think I played 20 very often. Alright, maybe we're going green-white again. What is this thing? 4 mana, 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for forest and plains. Put them in your hand. That seems awesome. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells. I assume that's more of a constructed ability. But 4 mana, 4/4 that gets you a forest and a plains. That's a really good card. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1, plus an additional 1 for each one in your party. No. Reveal their hand. Choose a convert mana cost 3 or greater, but it's a split card. Seems like one of the weaker ones, but maybe you'll cast it once in a while. 3 mana, 3/3. When Marasa enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return a card with kicker. This seems pretty good. Plenty of kicker. 3 mana, 3/3 with a lot of upside there. I think it's between the green card and the green-white gold card. Binding is, of course, good removal at common. I'm assuming that this is just the right choice. I'm not trying to draft the same deck over and over again. Just like, this is pretty broken. Search for 2 lands for a 4 mana 4/4. I saw there were some subscriptions. Thank you, YTY Beer and Count Coco Fang. Really appreciate your support. Yeah, I think the Regrowth Kicker card was my second choice after Yasharn. That card seems pretty strong. There's a lot of kickers. So it's a 3 mana 3/3 in a land light hand. If you've got the extra mana, you're buying something back. That's incredible. Alright, let's see. This card looks reasonably good. It's not that hard to gain life. Just have other clerics and give them lifelink. This looks like a really nice one of the split cards. 5 mana 4/3 if you don't need lands with some upside, or a land. That's a nice split card. The land fall +2/+2. Seems okay. I don't think this card is great. I do like the Scythe Cat following up the Yasharn. I do like these permanent growing landfall stuff quite a bit. So I think it's the blue split card or the Scythe Cat. Given this is like my second draft of the format, it's like a pre-release, and I drafted green-white, I'm not going to force green-white, but if I open a green-white gold rare, I'm happy if I can draft green-white again, since I actually know the cards a little bit better. Oh, my camera's blocking a little bit of the pack. I'm sorry. Let me make it a little smaller. Okay, let's see. So, Rabid Bite if we're staying on for green-white. This doesn't seem good. Again, Umara Wizard seems pretty good, but we did get a broken green-white rare. Zendikar seems fine. I think Rabid Bite is probably better. Seems like it's Rabid Bite unless we wanted to take a blue card. Like, this is probably the best card in the pack, but after that, I think it's Rabid Bite. Target creature gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn and a land. Well, this thing is sweet. This is just a good trick to save your best creatures in the late game, or, you attack with a 4/4, they block with a 4/4. It's feet without the +1/+1. And then, or it's a land. This is a really nice split card. Thwart the Grave, 1 less for each creature in your party, okay. Return a bunch of creatures, could be powerful if you do the party thing really well. Ox is a little expensive for landfall. I mean, you're still going to play it, but it's not exciting. I'm pretty sure this is just Windmill Slam Shelter when we were trying to draft green-white anyway. So to be clear, because this is 2 drafts in a row, I'm in no way, shape, or form like force green-white in this format. In this draft, I happened to open Yasharn, and the previous draft, I happened to open like that 2-mana 2/3 gold green-white uncommon. Now, green-white landfall might be excellent, or it might be one of the worst archetypes. I have no clue. I am happy to get to draft it a second time in a row since this is a pre-release, but I'm only doing it this time because I opened Yasharn. I wasn't like trying to force green-white. Okay, so now there's the 2-mana 2/1 that's a 2/3 on their turn, or there's the 2-mana 3/1. And then there's the Ox. But again, Ox seems fine in landfall, but it's kind of expensive. I think I'm just going to grab this 2-drop. Hopefully I won't have to play it. Another one of these split cards. 2-mana 1/3 gain 2, that's not impressive, but you're only playing it if you don't need the land. This one seems a lot less impressive than this one, but it's still probably a fine card. So I guess we're going to go with it. Yeah, also Cleric, kind of relevant, very true. Indestructible. This does not seem good. So for 3 mana, you can get a mana rock. That's not a very good card. Or for 6 mana, you can get 3 mana rocks. I mean, look, if you have 10 mana card win the game, then this could set it up. But overall, this seems like a pretty bad card. This might be good. We already have a couple clerics. We can try and prioritize clerics. Nothing wrong with a 2-mana 2/2 lifelink. That's a really good card if we look to draft inevitability and play long games and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do the party thing well, because we have Cleric, Warrior. I don't know. I mean, if you do the party thing well, this is good removal. I just don't know if we will or won't. I mean, we happened to not do it well last time. Yeah, 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance, that's not a very good card. It's fine. But then if this has lifelink, then it's pretty exciting. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that Kicker Rock thing won't have constructed applications. I mean, if you kick it, you're getting a lot out of it, but obviously you don't need 3 more mana when you have 6 already in limited very badly. So, like, that's the kind of card that, like, might have some synergies in artifact decks in constructed or in Tron or who knows. I'm talking about in draft. In draft, I would only play that card if I had, like, you know, a bunch of 9, or not bunch, but if I had a couple of 9 mana, 8, 9 mana cards that won the game, 5-color ramp deck. I'm not saying the card's unplayable, but in a standard 2-color draft deck, that card's not offering you enough. If you've got some great ways to use it, sure. Think about it similar to the Lotus in Dominaria. You know, the, like, 5 mana tap to add 3 Lotus or whatever, something like that. Like, you only play that card if, like, you really can use all that mana well. Otherwise, it's just kind of overkill. And then, of course, when you're behind, it does nothing. Wow, this card seems great. I mean, we're not black. I'm going to take the green-white gold uncommon from my green-white landfall deck again. Yeah, if you had Jasu, something incredible to kick and use all that mana on, exactly. And it's going to be the same in this format, or in any limited format. A card that's 6 mana and gives you, like, 3 lands out of 1 card, but you have to already have 6. If you have 2 copies of 10 mana win the game, then sure, go nuts. But otherwise, you're not going to want that card. So obviously, we're going to take Rootgrazer, but this seems like a really good split card. I don't think I want to split. I mean, Yasharn is going to be pretty broken in green-white landfall. Imagine turn 2 Rootgrazer, turn 3 put in a land, play Yasharn, search out 2 more lands. Practically playing constructed at that point. Fine, but more fancy than good. We could probably use this healer. We do have a couple of clerics already, and we want to try and prioritize the stuff like that. And then this one gains life directly. This one can gain life repeatedly. The cleric thing could be good for us. It's a decent trick. If you ever get them, you attack with a 3/3, they block with a 3/3, you play the Basswood Fortification, that's awesome. And then, of course, it's a land. Oh, Nahiri's Binding is probably just better than the cleric thing or the green trick land. The Nahiri's Binding is just good removal, right? It's just a rest, basically. Also stops Planeswalkers. You'll love to see it. Oh, this card is just sick. So easy for me to trigger landfall, even multiple times a turn sometimes with Root Grazer and Yasharn. And as soon as you have 6 lands, you start creating copies of Swarms, and you create copies on copies really quickly. This thing seems totally broken. And in the meantime, it's making 1/1s. It's not like it's making counters that do nothing, and then when you hit 6, you start to win the game. This just makes 1/1s every turn, and then when you hit 6, it makes copies of itself, and then you just win the game. Hey, I'm not against drafting the easy way. So there's a rabid bout, especially during pre-release drafts. Just because I'm famous for drafting the hard way doesn't mean I mind when I draft the easy way. I can actually tell you a kind of funny story with that. Let me see here. Rabid Bite, definitely the pick, right? This regrowth is, like, fine, but triggers landfall and all that. Felidar is another fine grower, but I think Rabid Bite's better. So we're going to be a little better at Party. We do have these 2 tactics, which I don't know if we can play or not. I mean, Warriors and Clerics seem like we're pretty good on, but I don't know that we can get much in the way of Rogues and Wizards here at a green-white. I mean, we have a million 2-drops. We're not going to need mediocre ones like this Mesa Lynx. I mean, this card seems fine, but like I said, we're just not going to need it. The Reclaim the Waste might be good. Actually, that would probably be a good card to play. Okay, easy Scythe Cat here. What the? I guess we're the only green-white landfall player. That's a 7th pick. Root Grazer. I mean, this card just seems great. Unless I'm losing my mind, like, it's just a really good card. I mean, it happens because it's a gold card. If this was just a green card or just a white card, it would be absolutely shocking. But we could be the only green-white player. But this does look like a really high-powered landfall deck. I like what we're doing here. Oh, yeah, so the story I was going to tell was in the top 8 of Grand Prix Indy, I was passing to Luis. And after the draft, and this is like 2012 or so, like Luis is a good drafter. He's always been a good drafter, but he got a lot better. Like he wasn't great at draft way back in the day. So this is when he had like kind of gotten better at draft. And literally, so I'm passing him in the top 8 of the Grand Prix. I'm drafting like green-black. I waffled a little between green-white and green-black and settled on green-black, but pretty quickly. And so he's like, I think I drafted really well, after we were turning our decks. It's an individual top 8, not team. He's like, I think I drafted really well. My deck's good. What do you think? He shows it to me, whatever. I'm just like, yeah, it looks really good. What did you first pick? And he's like, Asperia, the blue-white gold mythic rare. And I'm like, okay, but you're blue-white. I was green-black, passing to you. The best card in the pack I passed you pick 2 was like a white removal spell. The best card I passed you pick 3 was like a blue bounce spell or something. So like, yes, you drafted well, but like, someone who doesn't play Magic could have drafted your deck in your seat. You opened the blue-white mythic rare and then got past white card, blue card every pack from a green-black player. Like, you don't avoid that, you know what I'm saying? Like, drafting the easy way is a good thing when it happens naturally because you're just getting hit in the face with a deck. That's a good thing. The goal is not to have to switch colors in a draft, right? But I wouldn't exactly say like, ooh, like it's an accomplishment if you open a green-white gold rare and then see green-white like I have this draft. Okay, so let's see. Rabid Bite looks better than Dauntless Survivor, I think. Yeah, no, and I mean, I would have, listen, if he was passing to me in that draft, if I was in his seat and he was in mine, I would have drafted blue-white. Asperia was really good, and I remember the packs I passed him to a degree, especially at the time, where it was like I said, the best cards in the packs were blue, then white, blue, then white, blue, then white. Like, he definitely drafted optimally. Just drafting the easy way is easy. Third Root Grazer, don't mind if I do. Just play all lands. Yeah, we could use a few more landfall cards. I mean, we have 2 Scythe Cats here, and Scute Swarm, which is a broken rare landfill card. So it's not like we don't have any. We have 3. I would like a couple more this pack, of course. No, I don't know if Disenchant's main deckable in the format or not. In general, I don't like main decking cards like that, but of course it does depend on the format. This doesn't seem great. I mean, it's better if you're aggro, because it makes a creature really hard to block for 1 turn. We don't have much in the way of instant sorceries or wizards, so that's not useful for us. So I guess it's just Stomper. I mean, we don't need Stomper particularly badly for this deck like last time. I mean, we'll ramp it out, but we don't have a ton of landfall, and we have a ton of ramp and stuff. But still a good card, I think. This is just an easy colony. It's not really over anything. Just a fine 2-drop. It'll let us cut one of our weaker ones. Okay, so we're not doing the party thing. Again, it didn't get there. No problem. We have plenty of 2s that are good. 3 Root Grazers, so we'll certainly be cutting a 2-mana 3/1 unless we're doing the party thing. Try and prioritize some Clerics if we can. We do landfall really well and ramp really well, so stuff like Ox and Baloth are going to be pretty good for us. I think I'd rather have the Baloth. Curve it out on turn 3 with these 3 Root Grazers. Somehow we get a 7th pick Root Grazer 1-pack, then no green or white cards, 6 pick another. Welcome to variance, I guess. I don't know, I don't think this matters. I think I like this card because we have broken creatures like Yasharn and Scute Swarm that our deck is going to revolve around. So looking at 5 cards to go get them is really nice. And, I mean, we can certainly afford to spend 2 mana because, I mean, we're going to ramp and put a bunch of lands in play. Oops, did I get it? I got it. Good, I was clicked on it. Okay, so now it's another Adventure Awaits or McKindy Ox. Would kind of like the Ox, especially with 3 Root Grazers, but I still think the Adventure Awaits is probably better. Like I said, this deck can afford to spend the 2 mana because we're going to ramp and stuff, and then we can search for Yasharn or Scute Swarm or things like that for the win. So I think Adventure Awaits is actually going to be quite good in this deck. I think more often than not I would take the Ox there, but I think this deck is going to use Adventure Awaits really well. All right, let's see. This might just be right. Well, last time it was a mistake to play 17. This isn't real. That was 17 plus 1 land split card. This time it would be this card, which is just a land. It's just 1 green, go search for a land. So we're really on 18 plus 2 split cards. So this is like 18 plus 2 land split cards. Last time we were on 17 plus 1, and that wasn't enough. But 18 plus 2 looks good. So this is probably right. Is there anything in the sideboard? No, we don't need generic 2s. We have a ton. We do some things with Clerics. We don't have any Clerics in the board, do we? No. Yeah, I think this is right. Root Grazer? I don't know. I'll have to read it. I think it's only basics, but I could be wrong. The first draft, we went 5-3. Perfect first hand, 2 plains, all green cards, got a mulligan. What's up with these draws today? Did they blacklist my account for complaining about Arena not working yesterday? I shouldn't even stoke conspiracy theories. I'm just joking. Alright, so what are we going to put back? We could put back the 2-mana 2/2 Cleric. We have this to play on turn 2 if we want to. I'd rather play this. It's a creature. I don't really want to put back any of the 3 lands. I could put back Adventurous Awaits, but I feel like searching for my, 2 bomb rare creatures is good. So I think the cards I can put back are like Baloth, healer, or adventure awaits. I don't think I'm going to put back any of the lands, and I don't think I'm going to put back the Scythe Cat. Yeah, I guess Baloth can go back. We don't have a ton of lands in this hand. And then, of course, we'll just put this in play tap turn 1, because we definitely want lands in play. I mean, we didn't actually end up with that many clerics. So, I mean, we could certainly put back healer. It's kind of medium. We could spend our mana on adventurers waits on turn 2 if we didn't have the healer to play. Like, obviously I didn't know they were going to play a turn 103. But if I did, I would have put back the healer. Yeah, this only messes with basics. Unfortunately, this is not an activated ability, so we can't stop it. I'll happily bluff here. It's vigilance anyway. If they double blocked with 2 1/1s, I'd be ecstatic. That's just a free roll. I wouldn't even credit that as a bluff. More just like a free roll attack. Yeah, I saw that. Turn 1 crab is busted. Late in the game, crab does next to nothing. But turn 1 crab is totally busted. There's nothing really to binding, so I'm going to cast this, see what we can find. Don't know if we have any hope left. Don't even have double green. I could decline and just draw a card. I don't know what I'm looking for. I mean, a 4/4 isn't bad if we draw a green. I didn't even have a green to play Survivor this turn, though. Hey, even if I lose to this getting milled, I'm happy to see it. If you watch me in Voxy streams, you know we love mill, so I'm happy to see mill be playable in the format. No, you cannot mull aggressively to have your crab turn 1. You can certainly keep a slightly dicey hand because it has a crab in it, or like mull a super close hand that doesn't have one, but you can't just aggressive mulligan and limit it until you have your turn 1 crab. You also have to play like 7 straight lands for it to win the game. Which, I mean, you'll do plenty of the time, but you don't just mull until you get crab. I mean, I guess. They were probably just going to block with the crab like they've done for the 100 times. I don't know how we win this game. I guess I'm going to... Oh, I can't even do that. They'll sack it and draw a card in response. Yuck. Whatever. I'll just chill for a turn and see what they do. But I don't think we can possibly win here. Well, there goes our last way to win. Scoot Swarm. Alright. I've seen enough. I have seen enough. See, do we want to play this as a land or a cleric? Probably just a land. We have 3 lands. We have a 4-drop. We need 1 more land. Next turn I can play Adventure Awaits. Yeah, I think I just want to land here, opening hand. Yeah, the crab, was fine. It didn't, just win the game. They just dealt with all their stuff last game. Alright, so... I don't... Well, maybe I play the colony because then I can put this on it. I've already got 4 lands to search out more. But, I mean, I can also kick the colony for sure. But what am I doing next turn? If I Adventurous Heights this turn, I'm looking for a creature to play next turn. If I play the colony this turn, I can then scale the Heights at next turn. So, I think we just play it on kick colony. Then next turn we can scale the Heights it, and then play 2 lands, draw another card, and then we can play a Sharn and play a land immediately. So we get our ramp value out of this card. Fancy Explore. No sound from the game. I'm too cool for arena sounds. What does this thing do? Discard and draw, so it's just a rummage once. Okay, I don't mind. My creatures are bigger than theirs. I like that. So I would have Yasharned, but I don't want to miss the growing on the Scythe Cat. So this turn looks pretty easy. Now we can play Scythe Cat, land, Root Grazer. And then next turn we can Yasharn, get lands, put them in play with Root Grazer. Life is good. So, let's see. I have 6, effectively 7 lands. There's no creature I actually want to kill with my only removal spell. So I think I'm going to Adventure Awaits and look for Scoot Swarm. And then I'll use Yasharn. If I don't find it, I'll Scoot Swarm if I do. Clearly we want a Stomper more than a Grazer at this point. Grazer's the better card because of turn 2, but at this point in the game, Stomper's offering us more. Yeah, I mean, Scythe Cat's just going to grow and grow and grow here. Or die. So we can Stomper, and that's not basic, so we can get our spell back, so that's cool. Then we can play it in game 2, which obviously isn't very exciting, but totally fine. Not like we need 2 life right now, so I assume I'd rather just put out Root Grazer. So next turn, I'm sure we're going to be able to attack. if we put a +1/+1 counter on Yasharn, then they have to double block it and lose 2 creatures. Right now they could block it with a 3/3 and a 2/2. Could also just Rabid Bite away the 3/3 if they don't play anything better, and then we can just attack with like everything. So we'll see what they do this turn. Alright, that doesn't really stop me from attacking with everything. So I think I'm going to Rabid Bite away their best blocker. Survivor up the creature that gains the most from it, probably turning the extra 3/3 into a 4/4. But then we can just send everything. They have like one slightly profitable double block, like they can put a 2/3 and a 2/2 on a 4/4, but then the rest of their blocks are bad. So this is fine. Okay, you can triple block there if you want. Of course, this time we'll play it as a cleric. We no longer need lands. I mean, it could be right to hate draft if you're not going to use the cards that are in the packs. Like, when you say you don't need more playables, like, if the card's not going to make your deck, then I would hate draft. If the card's going to make your deck, then I would probably just take it. 4 damage to a creature or planeswalker, sure, no problem. Okay, so I don't know if we were going to have an alpha, but drawing a 4/4 haste, I assume we definitely are. 3 4/4s are coming in along with everything else. That means 2 of them have to be blocked or the opponent's dead. So they can have a profitable double block, or they can like double chump and then eat something with the 3/4, but then they're double chumping. So I'm pretty sure drawing the 4/4 haste just gives us an alpha. This is kind of a math is for blockers situation. Unlike I did to my opponent that one turn, they're not going to kill us on the backswing. They have 7 power and we're at 22. And with 3 blockers, that means if they let 2 of these 4/4s through, they would be blocking 1 4/4 and like 2 other creatures and going to like 1. Seems fine to me. Because the best they're doing is eating little creatures and chumping 4/4s. Or they're making like a profitable double block on the 4/4s. So it's fine for us either way. The best time, John Orange, the best time. Yeah, I know. My laptop fan is doing its thing. There's not much I can do about that, except I'll try and move the mic and the fan as far apart as I can on my desk. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Hey, we've got Scoot Swarm finally. I mean, this is my second draft of the format, and I've drafted green-white green-white landfall both times, but seems okay. I mean, I'm always excited about new limited formats, so I try and not form opinions until I've played the set for a few weeks. Root Grazer's probably better for us than that 1/1. I mean, I guess I could have took neither and drawn a card, but this is still a decent spot to get Root Grazer. I can play Root Grazer this turn, and then I can play the Scoot Swarm and double landfall right away. Choose cards to reveal your opponent. They choose 1 to discard. Kind of want all of these. I guess I'm just going to show the Binding. I mean, I'm not going to show the Scoot Swarm, the Root Grazer, the Stomper. Yeah, I guess they can have Binding. My opponent's got to be like, what the heck? I mean, I don't have double white. But also, I think the Binding is actually one of the weaker cards in my hand right now. I don't have the noise suppression enabled. I know some, like Elias or somebody tried to help me with it way back when, but it didn't seem to work. If you have really good settings for like, a noise gate or whatever, and you know how to do that, like by all means, like message me. I appreciate it. But I just don't really know. You can sideboard any number of basic lands that you want. I have not asked Lord Tupperware that. CL Sala. Okay, so Scoot Swarm. Play a land. Just going to play another land, I think, with the Root Grazer now while they're tapped. Lock up another 1/1. Well, it would be for the stream, not for me, Radiantware. I'm always open to improving my stream quality. I'm not cheap. I'm just bad with technology. So if people know what to recommend, what program, what equipment, etc., I'll most likely get it. Weekend nights for sure, White Russian. We actually have 6 lands. We can bounce a land with the Root Grazer. So, I mean, they might just counter the Stomper or something. They're blue, but I gotta try. So what we're gonna do is tap a land for mana, then return it to my hand. I would appreciate it, Oracle. Then we can replay the land, and now it's on tap, so we can use it for mana again. Moressa Root Grazer adds a mana, sort of, in a roundabout kind of a way. Yeah, it doesn't give us the 6 land for Scoot Swarm, but we could keep triggering the Scoot Swarm. And there's that land 6 we needed. So for now, I guess it's kind of the same as last turn. I can go like Scale Heights, land, bounce one of the tap lands, replay it, play the Zendikar. Now then it would be on a tapped land, so we won't get to attack with the 4/4. But I think it's worth just triggering the Scoot Swarm more. Maybe not. I could just scale the heights later. Like Zendikar. Yeah, and I'd rather be triggering it with 7 lands. I guess for now, Zendikar is fine. What does this thing do? +3/+0 if an opponent has 8 or more cards in your yard. I definitely do not. So it's a 3-mana, 2/3 menace. So they don't really have a block on a 4/4 haste right now. So I guess it's better to just put down a 4/4 haste. I won't be greedy. And if they do kill it, it goes back to my hand. Then I can put it in play with the Root Grazer, trigger the Scoot Swarms again. So I can bounce a land, but I can't play another land yet, so no reason to do that. I don't know. Scoot Swarm might be constructed playable. It seems like a powerful card. Okay, so end of their turn, I'm definitely going to pick up a land. The reason being, I can use the Root Grazer and the Scale to play multiple extra lands on my turn. So they kill Scoot Swarm, but I already have a token, so it might be too late for them. So now, if I play a land, that gives me 6 again. Scoot Swarm making Scoot Swarms. Then I can scale the heights. I can put the counter on the Root Grazer so it can attack. Now I can bounce a land, and then I can play an extra land this turn, thanks to the Scale the Heights. No reason to do that pre-combat, so let's attack. Then post-combat, I'll bounce a land, replay it, trigger both Scoot Swarms, and then I'll probably Rabid Bite away the 3/3 flyer. Pleasure doing business with you. Pleasure doing business with you. Root Grazer Scoot Swarm, pretty broken. Scoot Swarm seems really broken to me. I mean, Scale of Heights has to be playable. It's 3 mana, draw a card, so, I mean, you don't need to get that much out of it. And then you play an extra land, a 2 life, and a +1/+1 counter. Now, whether or not Scale of Heights is good is a completely different conversation. I don't think outside of a landfall deck that's going to have a lot of lands in the deck and in hand at all times, it's good, but I think it's certainly playable. I think it would be absurd to think it was unplayable. It's 3 mana, draw a card, get 2 life, +1/+1 counter, and an extra land drop. That can't be unplayable. It could easily be not very good, though. Your deck has to want those effects. So this one can be kicked, so we'll just leave this one. It can always put the counter on itself, which is not much better or worse than putting it anywhere else. Hey, we got another raid, second raid of the day. Thanks, Lola Man. Appreciate the support. I hope you had a good stream. I hope we'll get to do another streamer pod sometime soon. Lola Man organizes those. For anybody who hasn't watched them, you're missing out. No real choices here. I'm only 1 land away from a 4/4 instead of a 2/2, so I think I'm just going to do nothing this turn. Besides play a land, of course, and grow the Scythe Cat. I'm not super happy about this, because my cat was going to keep growing. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked. I know that exists at common, the flash creature. I mean, it's still a flyer. I couldn't really block it, but I didn't want to trade my 3/2 grower for their 2/1 not grower. I've done 2 drafts, and I've drafted green-white landfall both times. So I have no idea what colors are good in this format or anything like that yet. All right, no decisions here. Let's just put out a 4/4. What is this Blood Priest? Enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, you gain where X is the number of creatures in your party. Alright, no big deal. And destroy, this card looks good. 1 mana, destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. If it was kicked, then destroy any. Yeah, that's really good removal. This is like Fatal Push. It might be better. Like, if it was an instant, like, it's not going to be better for constructed as a sorcery, but this is really, really good removal. For now, I guess I got a Rabid Bite away stuff. Hopefully they don't have removal. I'll hold on to 1. I don't mind trading my 2/2 for theirs and being stranded with a Rabid Bite rather than using it to kill a 2/1. But given they had 2 creatures to my 1, I didn't want to trade, take damage, and still have double Rabid Bite in hand. Kind of similarly, I'm going to have to Rabid Bite now. It's okay. Hopefully they're out of gas, because we're losing the race on board, but that's alright. I can take 2, and then if I draw a land, mine grows. If I draw a spell, I have something to cast. So, if they don't do much over the next turn or 2, we could turn this game. Even though it's a race I'm losing, if I draw 1 more land, I don't have to race. I can just stalemate the board, and the mine will keep growing. And if I draw spells, anything I draw stops at 2/1. Cool. Well, that works out nicely. Now we can play both lands. I mean, I might want to hold 1. My cat's already bigger than their stuff. I can't attack, because then they'll get to attack back. And this draws cards. And even though it'll be 6 for 4, I'm still not winning the race. So I think I'm going to play 1 land and hold 1 land in case I draw another landfaller for now. I know I could have played the other one because of Scale the Heights, but I might draw another landfall card. What does this do? Each player sacks a creature. I didn't sign up for this. Boo. Thought I was about to turn the game. Alright, we dead. I'm going to need more turn 2 Root Grazer, turn 3 4/4 rares, and Scoot Swarms. I got 2 of the look at the top 5 for a creature because I have those 2 broken green-white, the 2 broken creature rares. So I drafted 2 of the look at the top 5 for a creature, and then we have 3 Root Grazers. Did you have fun this game? No, did not. Definitely not. I call that the smiley face game. What are with these hands? Do I keep this on the play? I guess I keep this. I mean, I'm 1 forest away from a good hand, I guess. I'm not going to play the Skyclave Cleric turn 1 as a land. I don't know if I'm going to play it as a spell turn 2 or not, but I think I can make that decision later. Thanks, XL Domry. Eldom Domry. Why would Arena punish me? Arena should be rewarding me. I guess it's still mad that I insulted it yesterday. I love you, Arena. You're way better than Magic Online. Okay, no decisions here. I guess I should compliment it if I want it to be nice to me. Sure. Why wouldn't I go on a show like Survivor or Big Brother? I mean, I've never, like, applied to them or anything, but if they magically invited me, I would go. So, putting this in play as a land gives me land 3, but that only unlocks Binding. If I draw a forest, I should pretty much unlock my whole hand anyway. I think I'd rather get a Cleric. That gets me 4 life. The 2 from when it comes into play, and then the 2 from giving this lifelink. And, I mean, if it can keep attacking, it can get me even more life, which gives me more time to draw a forest, which is what I really need. Cool, have a good one, Lola, man. Thanks again for the raid. Still no land. I'll happily trade my 2/2 lifelink for the 3/2, get 2 more life. It has vigilance, so it can block it anyway. So, oh no, I can't send the 1/3. They'll just block that with a 3/2. That's awesome, Silex. I'm glad to hear it. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate your support. Forest, anytime. Anytime now. It's only like turn 5 or 6. Alright, I don't know what they're going to have, but these creatures are attacking for equivalent amounts, so I'm just going to block the 3/2 rather than a risky double block. What is this thing? Enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature. It's -2, -0. Its controller mills 2 cards. That's a cool card. still just need a forest to get going before it's too late. Format seems okay. I mean, I love the split cards and kicker. Like, kicker and, the land spell split cards are really sweet. Like I said, Ask Me Stuff Tuesday, no problem. This is like pre-release day for me. I'll be drafting all weekend off stream. And then by Tuesday, I'll have done, I'm not a million, but I'll have done at least like 10 or something. But right now, I really don't know much. These are all green, and my lands are all white. Back to you, opponent. Thank you, Geronimo. Appreciate the or gifting a sub, even better. Thank you for the generosity. I mean, if they don't add anything to the board, I think I can recover. Like, if I draw a land, like now, Scale the Heights gets me 2 life, and a 2/4 can block the 3/2 and the 3/3, so I'm only taking 1 a turn if that happens. Of course, if I'm going to keep not drawing the lands, then I'm certainly going to lose pretty soon. Now I think it might actually be too late. I think this might have been my last turn to be able to draw Forest. Thank you, Exel Domri. I know I mispronounce your name every time I've said it, but I still appreciate the support. Okay, well, that was a very disappointing 2-3. I think this deck was awesome with Scoot Swarm, the 4-mana 4/4 green-white gold rare, and 3 Root Grazers. Despite playing 18 land and 17 with 9 forest, plus that one that just searches for a green, plus 2 of the land spell split cards for basically 20 lands. We still got screwed and flooded like every game, so that was not great. But yeah, but I didn't have a Wrath to draw or anything. I think that then it actually was over. But we're going to do one more draft today. Hopefully it'll go better than that one. I mean, I would take the same deck in a heartbeat, just hopefully I'll draw better. Maybe we'll also open different colors and won't play green-white. Yeah, that deck was sweet. It did go off that one game with the Scoot Swarm and the Root Grazer, but almost every other game I had problems. And that's not reflective of the 2-color deck with good mana. The spell costs 1 less to cast. If an opponent controls no basics, that's unlikely and limited, but it's 4 mana, kill a creature, or it's a land. Cool. This should be an interesting card for Standard as well. Enchant. Does it kill a Planeswalker? No. They probably should have made it kill Planeswalkers also. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchant land loses all types and abilities. Tap down colorless and pay 1 life item out of any color. Doesn't seem great, but it's fixing. Sproutling seems really good. There's plenty of kicker. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. +2/+2 no end a turn. Probably a good aggressive creature, but it's a red, green, gold card. I'm not excited by it. I think it's Sproutling or Mauling, and probably Mauling. Deadly Alliance is great common removal. Just going to go with the Mauling. I could easily see taking the Sproutling. I don't necessarily know which of those is better. Thanks for subscribing, another white dude. Plenty of you out there, but I still appreciate the support. Thort the Grave. This card seems pretty busted if you use it really well. You can get 4 creatures back, more realistically 3. But we could try and do the party thing. Sproutling's still great, green-black. Who's this? Doesn't seem very good. 2/2. And then creatures with menace get... Creatures with counters get menace. I mean, it could be a thing, but probably just want to thwart. This early, I'm going to try and do the party thing. It says, or, return target creature card and up to 1 target cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. Oh, okay. So you only get 2 back. They're not going to let you go full infinite. Still good, but not as good as I was making it sound like it would be. Right, 4 mana reanimate 2, which you'll get 2 almost every time. So it's still good, but not as busted as I was making it sound. Steal creature. As far as black cards, nothing exciting. Okay. Blue-black control, don't mind if we do. Steal a creature. Is mill the opponent like a thing in this format? Because this costs 3 less if they have 8 cards in their yard. So I do like Kicker Divination here. Divination for 3 or draw 3 cards if you've got 6 to spend on it. 4 mana sorcery dark bargain, but I guess you could look at 4 cards instead of 3, which is a substantial upgrade. Once you don't need lands, it could easily be not having to take a land. I don't know. Nothing seems great here. I could field research. I'm definitely trying to draft a control deck. I think field research is probably better than blood price. Squid seems fine, but I don't think we need to do that yet. Tap another untapped rogue. Death touch until end of turn, so that's pretty good. When it deals damage to a player, mill 3. Okay, don't mind if I do. I do like this 2 mana 2/2 rogue for an early drop that is not a dead card because it's going to have death touch in the late game. I also like this bounce creature. 3 mana 3/2 in the early game so you don't get run over. In the late game you can bounce something. This seems like a really nice split card. I don't know what to take. I think like Skulker, Geyser Mage, Stinger, and Skydance are all like okay. I think I'm just going to take the 2-drop. I'm already pretty good at drawing cards and stuff like that. Like, this steals a creature, this gives you card advantage, this kills a creature, and this gives you card advantage. So I want to make sure I don't get run over. Doesn't seem like there's anything too exciting here. I think the Shadow Cat will probably work out better than the Menace counters thing. I'm not an aggro deck. This seems good. It's a land, and 6 cards is a lot to not fizzle, and I have a lot of instants and sorceries already. I mean, powerful ones. The Domination in the late game, the Thort the Grave in the late game, Mauling, Field Research. And of course it's a land. Looks like another Field Research. Looks like another Expedition Skulker. Seems to be coming together fine. Do we want 3rd Field Research or 3rd Skulker? Probably 3rd Skulker, because they're rogues, so they count each other. It's a good 2-drop to get a lot of. Yeah, Thort the Grave just seems like a really strong card. I mean, it depends on how much you're going to want to play it as a spell and how much you're going to want to play it as a land. So there's some discussion in the chat about do you count these as lands or spells? It's a really good question. So something like Hagra Mauling, I'm going to count as almost just strictly a spell and view the land as bonus. Like, because I want to play this as a spell, right? But, like, if I draw a hand with, like, 2 lands and 5 spells, including this, I may play it as a land, just because I need to. But I'm going to count this as almost strictly a spell. On the other hand, something like Saloon Vision, I'm going to count this as almost strictly a land, because I'm going to view this as I'm planning to play it as a land, but if I draw a land-heavy hand, then I can play it as a spell rather than an extra land that I don't need. Because this is not a strong spell. But it's a land, and then you have the ability to play it as a spell if you don't need lands. So you can't just count them all as 2/3 of a land or 2/3 of a spell. In my opinion, Saloon Vision, I would count as almost just strictly 1 land. I expect to play this as a land anytime I need lands, and then if I draw it in a land-heavy hand or in the late game, it's a spell. Hagra Mauling, I'm hoping to play as a spell every time, but it can bail me out if I have a 2-lander or something and I need a land. So, Hagra Mauling, I would count as, like, 1/3 of a land, but view mostly as a spell. And Saloon Vision, I would just view as, like, a land with upside. Alright, let's see. So, whenever I land in his battlefield, indestructible, so then it's a good attacker. I think we just want the bounce creature here. It's a wizard for our party stuff. It's a pretty weak pack for us overall. Not a great pack for anybody overall. Ooh, the blue-black duel. We could always take that. I mean, an on-color duel for limited is always a good card. It's not necessarily a first pick. Let's see what else is here. This doesn't seem very good. This might be pretty good. We have some small creatures to sack. I don't think we're going to be very good at gaining life. Probably more of a black-white clerics thing. Oh, we probably want this Royal Mage. Royal Mage looks fantastic for us. Although maybe I'll just take the dual land. Oh, wow. And then there's this card. 6 mana, kill a creature, 3/2. I want this whole pack. I'm going to take the dual land because we have pretty heavy mana requirements. This is triple blue, this is double black, this is double black. I don't know if that was right or wrong. I wanted pretty much that whole pack. Yeah, that was feed too, the common that's just good removal. I pretty much wanted that whole pack. As long as the opponent has 8 or more cards in your graveyard, rogues get +1/+0 and flying. Whenever one or more rogues you control attack, each opponent mills 2 cards, so if this attacks, they mill 2 cards. This seems ridiculous. Okay. Windmill Slam. Let's read some cards while we have a chance, though. When Cascade Seer enters the battlefield, Scry, seems fine, not great. Another Skulker, I would play it. Of course, I don't need to take it over a great card like the Thief. This is the buy back 2 creatures thing. It's solid. So, easy Thief here. Thanks, Privy B. Appreciate that subscription. Yeah, the Thief seems totally busted. I mean, I've got a bunch of rogues, and I want to put cards in their graveyard to lower the cost of the domination. This might not be that great a removal in limited. Like, it's efficient, but you don't necessarily want to lose a bunch of life to kill their best things, and you don't necessarily want to kill the 2-drops. I mean, you're going to play, like, a copy of Feed, but I'd be more excited about, like, the 5 mana removal that costs less for each one in its party. That said, I'll probably take it here. We don't have a lot of removal, and our curve's pretty low, and we do have a controlling deck with a lot of card drawing and stuff. But I don't think Feed is necessarily going to be awesome. Yeah, it'll be better in black-white when you gain life, for sure. And listen, I'm not saying you're ever going to cut it from your deck. I'm just saying I'm probably more excited about the 5 mana removal spell than I am the one that makes me lose a bunch of life to kill good things. I'm not suggesting it's unplayable. I'm saying it's probably worse than the other removal. Just grab another split card here, I think. Oh, yeah. Feed is probably better in the Cleric's deck, for sure. Because then you're gaining a bunch of life. And then you don't care about losing life. Subtle Strike could be good or could be not great. Depends if there's a lot of 1 toughness. Just going to grab a second Feed, I guess. Let's check if we have Kicker. I don't think we really do. I mean, I guess these field researches, and then we'll have more cards in hand. So we have a little Kicker, not a lot. Probably just want the Mill Rogue. That's something our deck does. This looks like a pretty good card. Play in the late game, it's nice. If you play it on turn 2, if you need to. It's gaining a life a turn. If you're a control deck, that seems fine. Nobody drafting green-white landfall so far. Cleric drains when it comes into play. Seems okay. I'm pretty sure we'd rather just have this. That's good. We can pick up a wizard here for the party. We still get another pack. This looks like a done deck right here. I don't know what this card is. Seems very good and fancy, but we can't use it. So land, Force Spike, I mean, you're always going to play it, but I don't think it's a very exciting card. This is a pretty good one. 5 mana, 4/4 flyer with some upside, and it's a wizard for the party. We probably just want like this rogue uncommon. We have a bunch of rogues, and we want them early for all these skulkers. 5 mana 3/3 flash flying seems unexciting. Discards 2 cards, mills a card, and you lose a life. I think we just want the 4. But no, sorry, the rogue thing. We want the rogue thing. Mills 3 cards. It's a 1/4 death touch, which can really be annoying to attack into or block, and we have a bunch of rogues. Air Elemental looks good, but I think the rogue uncommon is better for us, given we're a rogue mill deck with Soaring Thought Thief, 3 Skulkers, Sky Dancer, and then we also have Domination here. Here's the one I was talking about. Starts at 5, kills a creature or planeswalker, and it costs 1 less for each creature in your party. So this is going to be 3 or 4 to kill a creature. It's pretty good. I don't think this is like some kind of busted removal, but I think a deck like ours is going to want this more than it's going to want feed. But they're both fine. I don't think we're really in a position to splash. We don't really have fixing of any kind, and we have double black, triple blue, early black. Like, you know, it's fine to have a 2-color deck. We even have the blue-black dual land. I'm not that worried about my mana, but I don't think we're really looking to splash here. 3 mana 6/6, can't attack or block unless they have 8 in their yard, and it mills for 2. Yeah, this seems good. We're going to get 8 in their yard a lot of the time pretty quickly if we draw the Thief or if we draw the Shadow Stinger. I'm down to Relic Golem them. So it looks like we're playing blue-black Rogue Mill, which I guess is probably an archetype. This is like the fanciest Mind Rot of all time. I mean, they do mill 1, and they discard 2, so it puts 3 cards in their yard. I'm pretty sure we'd rather just have Royal Mage here, though. We have lots of good stuff to buy back, and it's a wizard. Yeah, I'm not against Pack Beast, but Royal Mage just has to be better, right? This is just like a better Get-To Chronicler. It's 2 mana 2/1, which is a better turn 2 play than a 1/3 generally. And then in the late game, it's the same. And I mean, we have all kinds of removal and card drawing and powerful stuff to buy back. Now we can grab that Air Elemental. Seems pretty easy. Just grab some more card drawing. Summon my inner LSV and say you can never have too much card drawing. Even though that's actually just directly not true. Card drawing is good, but has heavy diminishing returns. If you draw cards, and then you draw more cards, you die with a bunch of cards in your hand. When you're drawing cards, what you want is stuff that impacts the board cheap, like cheap removal and life gain. You don't need more cards. Okay, so we have like 30 playables, but I think we'll be able to cut like some 2-drops like these squids. We have plenty of better 2s. They just seem kind of weak. And then some of these are lands. Like, this is just a land, so that's 26. But then, like I said, I basically view this as a land. Did we get it more kicker? We got a field researcher. We got this little bat. So we have, like, some, but not a lot of kicker. Well, I guess I didn't have a choice. Sack a creature, put a counter on it. This doesn't seem very good for us. I think there's a black-green deck where this card's probably incredible. Even like, you know, black-white with small creatures. But in a control rogue deck, I don't see what this cat is doing for us. What are we sacking? I'd rather just be drawing cards and playing our good cheap stuff. So, if we played 17, how many lands does that really give us? We have the Mauling, which I kind of view more as a spell. And then we have the Vision, which, like I said, is a land, so that's 18. And the Predation, which is basically a land, so that's like 19. And we're not a landfall deck, and we have all these draw 2s. So this is one more land than we need, I think. Because I'm basically viewing these two as almost a land, Predation and Vision. Playing these as a spell is like bonus if you drew enough lands. So, and that's 1 blue and 1 black, so I assume we'd rather be pretty even, so let's go 8-8. And then with the vision and the predation. That's 9/9, so that's effectively 18 lands. And then the Mauling is a backup 19th land if we need it. So we need to cut 2 more cards. Not going to be the Skulkers, the Royal Mages. The Bat is probably cuttable. Not going to cut these mill things. The Riptide is cuttable. We have some kicker. We actually have a decent amount. We have the Royal Mage. We have the Bat. We have 3 Field Researchers. We have the Cunning Geyser Mage. We have like 6 kicker cards. But yes, the Risen Reef is cuttable. Not Risen Reef. Risen Riptide. Risen Reef is never cuttable. The Cascade Seer's cuttable. I was going to run it primarily for party, but I think I picked up a few wizards. Not many, though. 1, 2, 3... I think we have 4 wizards. I think we cut the Riptide. We don't have any like real cheap instant kicker. These are sorcery speeds. We just don't really need that. I don't think we want to drop another land. This deck can use its lands pretty well. Yeah, we could cut the 6 mana rogue. Do we have any clerics? I think we have like 1. We're pretty good on rogues and decent on wizards. I mean, we're always going to have a rogue. And then we're decent on wizards. We have 4 wizards. But I didn't really get clerics at all. Alright. I'm down with that. Yeah, I think we passed on all the clerics. You're right. If I had some clerics and that could -3/-3, it probably wouldn't be my last cut. But I think it's only going to -2/-2 at most. I don't know what's with these opening hands today. I mean, I'm not going to mull this. We're on the draw. I can play the Mauling as a land if I need to. Thankfully, since I already drew an island, I'm not going to do that. Now, even if we get stuck on 3 for a little bit, we have plenty to do. Not Lyra again. Okay, so we'll take this for second blue because we already have second black. For this turn, I'm just going to want to cast Stinger. I can certainly attack with my 2/2 if they want to block with a 3/2. That seems good for me. And then post-combat, I don't think this matters. Definitely playing Stinger. What I was saying doesn't matter is whether we play Swamp or Pathway. Okay, so for this turn, we can use 4 and play the Seer. Seems kind of like a no-brainer. Even though Scry is not at its best yet. Otherwise, we're using like 3 or 2, and I don't want to spend 4 and kill that. Kind of want both of those. If I take the land, I can Divination, draw 2, and then play Skulker. That seems good to me. And I do not want to attack for 2, because then they would just attack for 3 back. I'd rather have my 2/2 to block the 3/2 than have to trade my 3/3 wizard for it. I guess I could also just play these 2 this turn, and then I'm only 1 land away from drawing 3 instead of 2 off the kicker divination. But I know next turn I'm drawing this card, so what does my next turn look like? Because this turn I can play Research and Skulker, or I can play Skulker and Skydancer. And then next turn I have Mauling. That seems fine to me. Next turn I have Mauling, and then I'll draw... If I draw a land naturally, I can always draw 3 cards instead of 2. If I don't, then I can always play this just to draw 2, no problem. Three mana 1/4. They'll gain a life. Who cares? That doesn't actually stop either of my creatures. I've got the Death Touch 2/2 and a flyer. So a 1/4 ground creature doesn't stop anything I have at the moment. I'm not going to Mauling that. It's not good enough to Mauling. So I'll probably just draw 2 cards. Thank you, Joiner MTG. Appreciate the subscription. No, Stinger doesn't give Death Touch to other rogues, but Skulker gets Death Touch if you control another rogue, which I do. They mill Deadly Alliance and Expedition Healer. Alright, so I'm just going to draw 2. I'm not that greedy. I don't need to wait around to try and get an extra card. Can this bounce my creatures? Yes, it can. So we can bounce my own Stinger if I want to. Which seems good. I'm just going to kill the 3/4 flyer with removal and play a Skulker this turn. And then next turn we can decide what we want to do as far as the bounce creature. This lets us wait a turn on that. And then we have the decision. We can either return the Stinger to my hand to free it up, or we can return something they play. And if they don't play anything, that makes that an easy choice. I know it's not Lyra. I love my Lyra, but luckily this is not Lyra. Why bounce their 1/4 that's not doing anything when I could free up a Shadow Stinger, right? You're welcome, LL Group. Thank you for the subscription, Razmax CDN. Alright, so we're going to drop our 2 creatures. Going to attack. The 1/4 can bounce with the 3/2, but who cares? So I'm just going to attack with everything. The only way I would regret this is if there's something that punishes, like, attacking creatures. You know, like all of them. Like, destroy target attacker doesn't change me wanting to send everything. But if there's something that, like, does 2 damage to all attacking creatures, then it's a bad attack. Yeah, it's not a huge deal to me, but I just try and use they unless, you know, their name is Peter or Jennifer. Subtle Strike is pretty good against that attack. That's true. But the 3/2 is not doing anything for me. It's not attacking or blocking if it's not attacking there. So, like, who cares? Like, they can +1/+1 and eat the 3/2. I am not sure if that's a compliment, but I'll take it, RD Crew. I open packs sometimes to get the gems. Alright, so here, clearly we're going to play this for blue. I mean, it doesn't actually matter whether we play it turn 1 or not, but we already have 2 black, and we have a triple blue card in hand. So holding it for the optionality might technically be correct, but it's also irrelevant. There's no shot. We're not playing that for blue. So what can we do this turn? We can make them discard a card. We can kill the creature that's in play. Neither option seems particularly good. I mean, next turn we're going to have 4-mana removal online, 5-drop, and then late game we've got this out. So we don't want to get run over. I think I'm happy to kill a 3/3 because I don't want to lose too much life with this. And I have another removal and a steal a creature. So I think I'm happy to just keep control of the board. Plus, we know my deck. If it's an even board in the late game, that's incredible for me. I have 3 of the draw 3s, the Divination with Kicker. So if I can maintain an even board in the early game, that's a really good situation for me. Okay, now my 2/2 can stop the 3/2. So I'll go ahead and play the Predation now. Just try and take a card from their hand. So, fights a creature you don't control. I don't care about that. 5/5. I actually don't really care about that either. It might even be a good target to steal, potentially. Exile a permanent. That's also not a huge deal. I could take it since I have a 4/4 flyer. 5/4, okay, whatever. And the Sproutling. Do they have any kicker cards? Doesn't really look like it. None of these... Oh, they have that card. All right, I'm just going to take the kicker thing because they have this thing. So if I killed off the colony, they could then get it back for free. So I'm just going to take the only one of these that 2-for-1s me. Because basically my hand is all just trade and steal. And my late game is all draw 3s and stuff. So none of these cards were particularly more important than the other. So I just took the one that would get back something else. The one that could 2-for-1 me. I love the double-sided land spells. I'm so glad they did this. If I ever find out who from R&D came up with that idea, you've got a Christmas present on the way from me. That's just a great mechanic. Good job. Okay, I don't care. You use a removal spell, you kill my creature. It's all good. I don't need to steal either of those. I know this is going to get Journey to Oblivion, but again, it's fine. So right now, this can steal converted mana cost 2, working our way up towards the good ones, which are 6 and 5. Might have to steal one of the small ones. We'll see what we draw this turn. So if I steal the colony, that can block the 3/2. Still need to draw some more spells. Or I could kill the 3/2. Next turn, I'm going to be 1 short of stealing the 5 drops. Seems like I'm better off not being too greedy here. We know the colony has a good block on the Visionary, and then the Deadly Alliance deals with the first one of these, and then I have to just draw like another removal or card drawing or whatever. I mean, good enough to draw, I think. Not a super exciting draw. And then I'd rather block the 3/2 with the 2/2 than a 3/3, so no attacks. Yeah, my deck is built for this. I mean, if I flood out, I'll lose, but, you know, I have 3 of the Kicker Divinations. I've got the Thwart black card, bring back 2 creatures. You know, my deck, the Royal Mage to buy back the Steal a card. I mean, my deck is built for these kind of close late games. I'm not in bad shape right now. That's not a particularly good one to bounce because they'll gain another 3 life. And these only have 1 difference in power and toughness. So I think I'll probably just Deadly Alliance this Ascetic here. Search a library for 2 basics. If the spell's kick, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature. Well, in that case, maybe I want to bounce this. I don't know. No, because I want the game to drag on. I still just kill it and attack for 3, I think. And then I can bounce that, buy more time. Like I said, we're pretty even right now, except I have 3 draw 3s in my deck. I have the Thwart, I have the Royal Mage. Like, my library is incredible. So I'm just looking to prolong the game right now and then hopefully draw into some of that stuff. Like, now I'm not going to get any real good opportunity to bounce necessarily, but it's fine. I'll use it as, like, something to stall the game a little bit, like I said. I'm not that worried about putting it out now and killing that with Mauling for tempo. I would rather just, like, we both get more turns, because those are turns of me potentially drawing a draw 3, and then blowing the game wide open. So I was going to Cunning Geyser Mage it, but now I can fizzle the Rabid Bite by using the Mauling. So now it's a no-brainer to Mauling in response. Had they not played Rabid Bite, I would have just untapped and Cunning Geyser Mage their creature. And again, I'm just going to hold the Geyser Mage, bounce their next creature. The Sky Dancer comes out end of turn. This should pretty much be game unless they have some kind of Wrath of God effect. Yeah, I could bounce my own thing and mill two more, but, like, who cares? I wasn't going to deck them, so what's the point in that, really? I would have probably bounced my wizard, if anything, so that I could scry two again and get rid of lands and get to those draw threes. But, again, all I really wanted to do was prolong the game, because my library was so loaded for the late game once we both have a lot of mana and there's no pressure on us on board. Like I said, I had Thwart, Royal Mage, 3 copies of Draw 3. Like, my deck is built for that. So I just was going to hold the bounce creature until they played something that I needed to bounce to buy time. Cool. Hopefully we won't have to play the Mauling as a land. I guess we definitely won't, because, like, I'll draw 2. So I'll just, if I have to, I'll just play 3 lands and field research. If they play a 2-drop, I'll probably have to play Royal Mage to block it. If they don't, I probably won't either. Haha. Hey, I'm only on because you requested it, Arcana. Also because you called me Lord Stark. So yeah, I'm not going to put out the Royal Mage to beat down. We're a control deck. If they were on the play and they put out a 2-drop that it could block, I'd play it to make sure I don't get run over. But now I'll just hold it. That said, I don't mind putting this 3-2 out. 6 mana before we could bounce anything. And we already have kill a creature, buy back our kill a creature. So I'll just add the 3-2 to the board. So for this turn, we have the 4-mana removal, but our 3-2 stops the 3-3. We don't really need to kill it. So I guess we just pass the turn, and then we can block. If they play a removal or a trick on our creature, I'll probably Mauling theirs. If they don't, we'll just flash in the Sky Dancer, end of turn. Life is good. I mean, theoretically, I want to use 4 this turn if I can, like, profitably, because I have the 3-drop and the 2-drop for next turn when I have 5 mana, but I'm not going to Hagra Mauling a 3-3 when I have a 3-2 out stopping it. So if they played a good creature, I'd Mauling it, and if they attacked and I blocked and they played a trick, I'd Mauling it. But if they're not doing anything, then I'm not going to Mauling it. Now we attack with both. If they took it, I have the 2-2 Death Touch, so they can't just attack back. So we're not being the most efficient with our mana, but that's okay. We're a control deck, and now we're about to go draw 3. And I mean, this game is just over. I mean, they're mana screwed, obviously. They're only on planes, but it'd be pretty hard for them to beat me even if they had their other color. I mean, I have nothing but removal, card drawing, and recursion in hand. I'm going to play this even though it's 1 less power than the Falconer, because I just want to use all my mana, I think. I might end up playing Feed on their creature and Falconer in 1 turn, if they draw lands. Yeah, they obviously got mana screwed. I mean, my hand was awesome that game, and I wish they didn't get mana screwed, because it would have probably still been a good game for us. But, of course, when the opponent's sitting there mana screwed, they can't do anything. I know that feeling. It happened to me a lot last draft. Yeah, I really think people who are trying to view all these land spell split cards as 2/3 of a land, as 1/3 of a land, I think you're doing it wrong. I think you have to go card by card. I'll say this. I can't go card by card yet, but I'll give this as my first strategic insight for day 1. I think you really have to go card by card with those. Because, for example, the 4-mana one I have, the rare one that kills a creature, I'm only playing that as a land if I'm desperate. I don't want to play that as a land. So I'd rather put a land in my deck over some bad card so that I then have that to play as a spell. Meanwhile, the black and blue uncommon one I have, those I expect to play as lands, but then, if I drew 5 lands, if it's the late game and I have 7 lands out, then I can play them as a spell instead of a land. Playing the black and the blue uncommon ones I have on turn 3 as a spell is highly unlikely. I'd much rather play them as lands. So those to me are like, I'm almost going to count those as a full land and view those as spells as backup, as if I drew enough other lands, then I can play them as a spell and mitigate flood that way. Meanwhile, something like the rare that kills a creature that's also a land that I have, that's like a full spell. I'm not counting that as a land at all. It's just going to help mitigate screw because I can play it as a land if I need to. Now, there are some that are more in between. But those black and blue uncommons, the one that makes them discard a card and the one that look at your top 6, you don't want to play those on turn 3. Like, obviously, if you have nothing else to do, you'll play the black one or the blue one, whatever. But you want to play those as lands in the early game, and you want to view those as bonus lands that, can help mitigate flood by being a resource, by being a spell. So I really don't think you want to view all these cards as 2/3 of a land or half a land or 1/3. I think that's wrong. I think you have to go case by case and look at how much you want to cast it as a spell and early. And like I said, I'm going to view that blue and black uncommon that I have one of each of, I'm going to view those as 3/4 of a land, if not a whole land. And I'm going to view the 4-mana black removal spell, that split card land, as a whole spell, and I'm not going to count it as a land at all. I'm just going to view that as bonus. Because I'm hoping to draw enough lands without that as a land. I don't want to play that as a land. I'll do it if I need to, but I don't want to. So I really think you want to go card by card with those land spell split cards in how you view them. And you shouldn't view them all the same. Thank you, Mr. Locke. Appreciate the 19 months of support. That's kind of what I'm getting at, the Notorious. Like, if you're planning to play it as a spell almost every time, then you can view it as a spell. If you're planning to play it as a land almost every time, then you view it as a land. If it's going to go 50-50, then you're going to view it as 50-50. That's why I said you kind of have to go card by card. You can't just view them as land or as spells. Oh, that looks like a good creature to steal. That's awesome. We're not really milling them yet, and we're probably going to win through damage, so I'll bottom the Relic Golem, and then I'll draw the Domination to take that Fearless Fledgling next turn. Don't mind if I do. They can move the equipment off, but they have to spend another 4 mana. That's an expensive equipment. Okay, so no real decisions here, I think. First, we'll just beat down. They can trade their 3/2 for any of mine or take it. It's a race we're going to win easily because then I'm going to steal their 5/5. If they don't have another creature out, they can't even move the equipment. Like, I don't control the equipment, but the equipment stays on the creature. So I'm going to get a 5/5 flying first strike, and then if they want to pay 4 and move the equipment, they can. But they're probably going to be dead if they do that. So this should pretty much be game over. Steal a creature, mind control, always good and limited. Even if it costs a lot of mana and only steals small things. Oh, you're welcome, Swelv. Thanks for watching my stream. I love modal lands. I love them. I told you, if whoever from R&D came up with that idea takes credit for it publicly, also give me your address so I can send you a Christmas gift. They should make that evergreen, along with cycling. Put modal lands in every set. Such a good ability. It mitigates flood and screw, and it gives you choices, and they're not overpowered on either end, generally. It's just a perfect magic card, really. You don't like them, Newmont? What's up with the covering the face? They're beautiful. How can you not like them? Do I want to kill that? I mean, we won't lose a lot of life. We don't really have anything to do next turn anyway, so I think I'll hold off and see if they put something that pressures me more. So now, yeah, no real choices, of course. Just put out the 2/2. I'm not against killing these, but I don't particularly want to if I have other options. Hey, no, I didn't move. I just got kind of bored with M21, so it seemed like a good time to take some weeks off from the stream towards the end of a limited format. I was always planning the whole time to come right back with Zendikar's release on my normal schedule. It's something I might do again. I'm very big, like, for me, this is like a passion and a hobby first and a job second. And I love playing new limited formats. Like, sometimes I love the format, sometimes I don't, but I love playing new limited formats when they come out. So if a format is really fun and I'm really loving it, like M20 or Dominaria, I'm going to play it the whole 3 months, right? But if it's a fine format, but nothing exceptional, aggressive, not really my cup of tea, like, say, M21. M21 was balanced, but it was kind of boring. So after, like, a month or two, I'm kind of off it. So, it makes sense to, if I'm going to take, like, some time off, to do it at the end of limited formats when I'm just not that into it anymore. Expedition Champion gets +2/+0 as long as you control another warrior. Okay, no problem. Probably rather use the 4-mana removal than the 2-mana removal here. So that's an instant, so I guess I'll just pass the turn. I appreciate it, Harry Houdini. A bunch of people sent me messages like, I hope you're okay. And, like, both, I got 2 different kinds of messages, both like, I hope you're okay physically and mentally, which I am and I was, and I appreciate the concern. And also, like, I hope you're not quitting streaming. I really love your stream, messages like that. And I really appreciate the compliments and the support, and I'm not quitting streaming, I promise. Like I said, if I love Zendikar, I may play it the whole 3 months. If I find it okay but not great, I might play it for 2 months and take the last 2-3 weeks off and then play again when the next limited format comes out. We'll see. But I'm definitely not quitting. So I appreciated both of those kinds of messages. People making sure I was okay, and people, letting me know that they like the stream and that they appreciate the content. So here, no decisions. We're going to kill the Warrior Lord, of course. They have all warriors. By shrinking these to a 1/2, we'll get to eat 1 with our 2/2. Life is good. Thank you, Dyson Dragonslayer. Appreciate the subscription, and I'm glad to be back. So sadly, the Eat It plan didn't work because they had a trick. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn if it's a warrior. So now what do we want to do? We can feed the Swarm the 4/3 and then just put out a 2/2. That seems fine. Can't cast this yet because it's triple blue. So no real decisions, I guess. I did play some Market Remastered, and I didn't mind it. Again, I thought it was somewhat interesting. I played it for a couple of weeks, but just another, like, super aggressive format. And I had already played with all those cards, because I played Amonkhet and Hour the first time they were out. So I didn't mind playing it for a couple of weeks. I thought it was kind of interesting, but, after that, I didn't want to keep playing it necessarily. All right, 4/4 should cover us on the ground. So much so I think I'm even going to attack, because if they have a pump spell, they're spending their mana on that. If they have a removal for the 4/4, they're only hitting me for 2. I don't need to have the 2/2 back to prevent that. I'm not like against using Magic Online, but I like Arena much better. So I'm probably only going to go on Magic Online when the options aren't good on Arena and are good on Magic Online. Like, if they put, like, Modern Horizons on Magic Online and not on Arena, and it's a great limited format, then I'll go and play Modern Horizons drafts on Magic Online. But if there's comparable options, or even a slightly worse option, but good options on Arena, I'm going to use Arena every time, because I like Arena much better. I guess they have 2 of these, and they're just going to burn me out. Sad day. You were able to redeem cards with Magic Online, but again, that doesn't mean it's cheaper to build and maintain a collection, right? Like, I think people kind of view the real value thing wrong. What matters is what your average, like, cost is per year to be able to, like, play all the things you want to play, not whether the cards have real value or not. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know whether Arena's cheaper or more expensive than Magic Online. But that's what we're really talking about, based on the amount of playing you do, how much it costs you, not whether the cards have, like I said, quote unquote, real value. Okay, so I'm going to play this as a land this time. It's only my fourth land. This card is 6 when kicker. This is 4. Like I said, I view this as more of a land with upside. The last time I drew it, I played it as a spell because I had endless lands. But this time, I think it clearly makes more sense turn 1 to just put it in play as a land, work our way towards kicking Field Research and casting Cascade Seer. I'm not against collecting. If you like collecting, that's cool. I'm just speaking strictly as a player. If obviously if you want to collect something with real value and be a collector, then you have to go for the real cards on Magic Online. But at the end of the day, like, I don't mind collecting things. I sort my cards. I get rid of the rares once I have more than 4. You know, trade or sell them. Like, I collect sort of, but I'm not in it to be a collector. I'm in it as a player because I love playing the strategy game. No Field Research for 3 because I already have 6 lands to kick it, and I already have a 4-drop. So, like, I don't think I really want to play this just to try and increase my chances at a 5-drop. It may have ended up being a little greedy because I have 3 of them, but I didn't have the second Field Research. I just drew it. I don't have any power. I had a Mox Emerald beta that I got in the beta draft in Vegas, but I sold it. Right now, my fanciest card is I still have the beta Underground from that. I sold the Mox. I kept the Underground for now. I have occasionally owned a piece of power, but I usually sold or traded it pretty quickly. So I can trade my 3/3 for their 1/3 on their turn, but it's kind of a trade down. But otherwise, I have this sneaking guide. I don't want to get low, and I have lots of ways to get card advantage, so I think I'll just do it. It's not first strike or something, right? No. Okay. So if they pump, I trade for their turn and their creature. I'm cool with that. Then I am going to draw 2. I'm not super happy about it, but I don't have anything else to do, and I have a lot of 2-drops. So, plus I already have another draw 3 and a steal your creature. So now we're going to draw 2. Yes, now I wish I did it on turn 3, but remember, I drew a second Field Research after that. I didn't already have it. Hi, Metal Maria. I don't know, Harry Houdini. I think Wizards should keep promises that they've made. I don't think the reserve list was a good idea, probably, in the first place, but maybe for collecting purposes it is. I don't know. Those are much better questions for, Dan Bach or people who are really into the expensive cards and the collecting and the buying and the selling. Not my area of expertise at all. This is getting kind of dicey. So I can kill the 5/4 and put out a 2/2. 2/2 is not a great blocker because I can't even block the 1/3 with it. I could steal a creature, but it's going to be tapped, so that's not going to be able to block. So I guess I have to do that. Pretty much have to double spell here. This is an instant, right? Yeah. This is not a great situation. I mean, I do think Wizards should keep promises. Even if it ends up being a bad promise, unless the people you made the promise to are okay with you breaking it, then I don't think you should break your promises. I think your word and your agreements to the community should mean something. But I'm not any sort of an expert on collecting and printing and value, and the reserve list could easily do more harm than good. But again, they promised people that there was a reserve, they wouldn't reprint those cards, and then people spent money and made decisions based on that promise. So Ixo saying, Ixo probably invested or something, and I think if they make a promise to the community, they should keep it, certainly. I think everyone should keep their promises and keep their word. But yeah, I'm not really, that's not my area of expertise at all. Speaking of areas of expertise, the lore stories on Wizards, I didn't even know they had new lore stories, and that would be even further from my area of expertise. I don't think I've ever read any of the lore. That's not my thing. Like, I'm cool, to each their own, but it's not my thing. I'm simply a strategy guy. I love analysis, I love strategy. I don't love being dead, but that's what's happening right now. I did. Congrats to the Ham TV. Apparently, he went like whatever the record you needed. He lost like the winning or something in day 2 of the Zendikar qualifier weekend. He went like 6-3 or 6-2 or whatever. But his last round opponent, who beat him, was not eligible. They were already queued or something. So Wizards gave him the invite, which is awesome. Kyle should have an invite to virtually everything. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer basically. Like, he's not actually in it, but he has 4 Pro Tour top 8s with a win. And also a Nationals win and stuff. Like, he should have been a serious Hall of Fame candidate, and I think he just didn't get enough like hype for some reason. He could easily be the best limited player of all time. He's also just a great player, so I'm glad that he's qualified for that. Not only did he win a limited Pro Tour, he won my very first Pro Tour, London 1999. That was the first Pro Tour I ever played in. Glad to be back. Thanks, Doc Reactions. Appreciate the support. Alright, so this could be one of those situations where I have to play the Mauling, but I have the Peleka Perdition, so first we'll play that, of course. I guess I have 2 3-drops after that, and then I'm only 1 land away from the Mauling, so hopefully I won't have to play it. For now, do I want to play the 3-2 that could bounce when I get to 6, or do I want to play the 2-1 flyer? I'm nowhere near 6, so I think I might want to just actually put out the 3-2, the bigger creature. I would love to see a big limited Pro Tour Duke Leto. I wish they'd run like high-profile limited events. Seems like WotC's going the other way, but I don't know why. I mean, if you just look right now, Day 9 is famous all in his own right. I don't know what he's playing. But as far as Magic streamers, Crokies is doing Constructed and has 1.6 thousand viewers, and we're doing Limited and we have 1.8 thousand viewers. So if Wizards is paying attention, they should know that Limited is more popular than Constructed. I rest my case. Okay, what is this thing? Enters the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters whenever a creature dies. And it's not because Newmont rated me and we combined like size that way either. But no, Limited is very popular, and over the years it got less views, but that was because you were watching paper cards under cameras and stuff like that. So I really think Wizards should be using Limited in high-profile events way more. Whenever a creature dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, put a counter on this. Whenever it dies, create a Hydra, equal the number of counters on it. What is this thing? This thing is incredible. I need to steal this. I guess for now I can play this. 1/4 can block a 3/3. It's not Death Touch or anything. And then I think I'm going to play the Mauling as a land. It's not really that useful for me to even kill this Ravager. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that under the old format of paper PTs, Limited was much tougher to follow, and that's why it got less views. But imagine if Limited was being played on Arena and you had me commentating or something, right? Like, imagine Draft Now was like literally streamed via Arena with Cardboard Live, so you could look at what every card does and people's whole libraries, and you had knowledgeable Limited people. Like, imagine me and Kenji were commentating the drafts. Like, the problem is Limited was so much more complicated, and it was played under, like, with the paper cards, with the cameras above, without Cardboard Live, and you have commentators who, like, can't really explain exactly what's going on in draft when it's, the most complicated format by a lot. I think that Limited would get just as much, if not more, views than Constructed if they did what I said. If they were doing, like I said, good limited coverage via Arena with good commentary. Just like the limited streams get just as much views as constructed streams, right? Okay, so I can put out two 2/2 death touches. The problem is I don't really want to trade with the 3/3. I mean, if I have to, I have to, but I don't really want to. I can't trade with other creatures that have counters either, right? Well, I guess I can. This just gets a +1/+1. It's not like they draw a card. But a 3/3 would blank the 2/2. So I think for now, I'm just going to put that out and try and scry up lands. I guess maybe I trade this Geyser Mage for this Ravager thing. Then they get a 3/3 Hydra. I have to trade with that too. It's pretty ugly. But I don't really have choices. And again, my library is built for this. I have all those draw 3s, the Royal Mage, so hopefully we can draw well out of this. Because we do have 2 losses now. I think I'm like 4-2. Well, I'm not that concerned about the size of the Hydra that this leaves behind. Because, I mean, I have these Death Touchers to trade with it. So, creatures with counters have Menace, which is all of their creatures. So I have to double block if I'm blocking. So that means it's an easy choice. If I'm going to block one of them on a double block, I can't, like, eat something with the 2/2s. And it's not killing both of mine. So, of course, I want to kill the actual Ravager. And now I'm just going to put out a Skulker, and then I can flash in the Sky Dancer. Right. I get that, Crunkillas. But with Cardboard Live and Arena's so beautiful. Look at the pictures, and Cardboard Live shows you what they do, and you can scroll on the cards and make them bigger. And you should be able to... They should have the technology that you could do this as a viewer. You shouldn't have to have the player themselves do it. So they still have Menace. So I can still only double block one of the creatures with counters, but I can also block this 3/3 here. So what do I want to double block? Probably going to end up putting the 3/2 on the 3/3, and then if we double block like this Constrictor, that looks pretty good. Get rid of the Menace. But we could also kill the Mana Producer. That might be better, to be honest. Because they only have 3 lands. Could easily be... Do we want to double block this 2/2 here that's giving Menace to the other things? Or do we want to double block the Mana Producer that's also a 2/2? I think it's pretty close. So I'm going to 12 here. I think it's the Mana Producer. They are stuck on 3 at the moment. And I mean, if one of my creatures lives and then I drop a creature, I already have 2 blockers out to double block with next turn, and I'm only going to 12. I'm not low. So I think we clearly want to play this as a spell now because we want spells to get back, and then we can still play our Skulker. Kind of want all of those, all 3 of those spells. So if I take the feed, I can hit the Scavenger now, but that's instead of dropping Skulker. I'm taking the same amount of damage this turn. Unfortunately, I don't have 3 blue, so I don't think I can take the Domination and hope to draw 1. So I think I'm going to take the Alliance, and then I can play the Skulker to double block one of the ground creatures this turn, and then next turn I can Alliance away the Scavenger. So this makes us stable on board if they don't keep adding. We take 5 and go to 7, but we're left with the Skulker, and they're left with these 2. And then Alliance kills Scavenger, Skulker blocks Survivor. So hopefully they'll stumble for a little bit. I mean, that's not great for us, of course. So I think now I probably have to put out the Royal Mage. That'll make this cost 1 less, so I can cast it and kill the Scavenger. Obviously, I'd rather be kicking this and getting stuff back, but I don't think that's a luxury we have at the moment. Stop doing stuff. I need you to stumble for a little bit while I draw out of this. Chill. This opponent just has no chill. Alright, so I can Deadly Alliance the Scavenger in response, and then I'm going to take 4 Menace and go to 1. I can Deadly Alliance the Constrictor in response, and then I'm going to take 3 and go to 2. Either way, I'm not going to be able to feed. You see the problem with these feeds? So I'm probably going to lose now. What do we want to do with this Deadly Alliance? Guess I have to kill this flyer, I think. Thank you, Captain Vlad Tepes. Appreciate the 14 months of support. Not the best from 4-0 to 4-3, but I think this blue-black and the second green-white were really good. The first one was kind of mediocre. Ironically, the one I had the best record with. Hope everybody enjoyed these 3 pre-release drafts.